Hi, everybody. This is Ken Wilson. Once upon a time, I broadcast blues hockey. I always listen to Let's Go Blues Radio. It's everything you'll want as a blues fan. Oh, baby.
Stop doing those diet or workout fads to lose weight. Use the tried and true approach from Rockin' That Ideal Life that helps you find balance while enjoying food in moderation and nourishing your body. Try the Lean 30 program at rockinthatIdeallife.com and let today be your last first day of your weight loss journey.
When buying or selling your home, you need to feel protected. Realtor Mike Burgoyne not only looks out for your interests, but as a St. Louis area police officer will make sure you feel safe and well-informed with every decision. Email Mike at strikewithmike.com and start the process today. That's Mike at strikewithmike.com.
Get ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
Let's have a Donnybrook.
Eric Brewer was so bad.
Are we like Ogle Corp? Are we suspended?
I reciprocated the dickness.
Selfish hockey.
That's right, selfish hockey.
What did I tell you about stick tape?
You don't need it!
No doubt about it, eh? You're listening to Kurt, Bill, and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues hockey fan podcast. Take it away, boys.
Welcome to episode 21 of season 13. This is episode number 452 all-time of the often imitated, never duplicated. Oh, Joel Miller, you've just found the marble in the oatmeal. You're a lucky, lucky, lucky little boy. Because you know why? You get to drink from the fire hose. We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Special thanks to our sponsors, Dustin from rockinthatIdeallife.com and realtor Mike Burgoyne. You can email it, Mike at strikewithmike.com. For proudly sponsoring the show, please check them out. Also, don't forget to check out our t-shirt shop at letsgoblues.com for some well-designed and fairly priced blues-themed t-shirts. It's Thursday, February 29th, and we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the Disney Channel, wherever you get live video casts. To interact with the show on social media, our handle on all social channels is at LGB Radio. Just search for us and you'll find us. And if you haven't already done so, please like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, buy a t-shirt from our shop, call into Sports Open Line and tell them Let's Go Blues Radio is better, or do whatever you can do to help us out. I'm your host, Jeff Ponder, and I'm joined by Kurt Price and Bill Day. Producer Austin is facing allegations regarding tackling a plus-size model that resulted in her having a broken foot. You guys get the reference to that?
No, I don't.
Tyreek Hill. That is a Tyreek Hill.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I heard that. The allegations against him right now. He's
The agenda for tonight includes the Blues' losing streak, a player making a return to the lineup, a friend of the show getting a ridiculously awesome accomplishment that he's been working on for a long time. All that and more on this gentrified episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. I am joined by two lovely men who filled in for me last week, so I want to thank both of you for running with the reins last week as I had some things come up, but good to be back.
We were fine. Actually, a great show. One of the best.
I make a point to listen to every episode that I miss. I have not had any time at all to listen to a lick of the episode. So you guys could literally tell me, oh yeah, we talked about aliens landing on Mars, and I'd be like, oh yeah, of course you did.
It was a really nice hour and 10-minute show. No, I mean it was we had a good show. We always have a good show. You know, with or without you, that's the way the show. That's why the show works so well. We are interchangeable.
That's true.
It's always a good show.
And that's what we always tell each other. When one of us is like, dude, I'm sorry, we can't make it. It's like, that's why we have three hosts, three awesome hosts. So we make it work.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
Yeah. Well, good. Bill, good to hear from you. Thanks for piping up.
I'm with you fellas. I'm trying to fuck around with my lighting. I don't know what the hell happened. But all right, that's a little better.
You look great, Bill.
You look good.
Yeah, very good. Very good. What are you wearing?
You have a face for the podcast.
Kurt, what are you wearing right now? What is that hoodie you got on?
Oh, you're gonna talk about this? Okay, I'll bring it up.
Oh wow, a pickleball jersey or hoodie. I should have known.
Yeah, Pickle for Fun. It's a cult. I mean, a club I belong to. A group. It's a group within a club.
Pickle for Fun. I think I've seen that Peter North movie.
PFA. yeah. Jenna Jameson, Peter North. Yeah. Two crossing eras.
Great stuff. There's also Pickle Me Tender.
Pickle Me Tender. Pickle Me Sweet. It's a gherkin. It's a small group. Actually, it's gotten to be pretty big. Actually, group of people that we have a lot of fun with. Pickleball, a lot of group outings and tournaments and just fun activities and stuff. It's a good time, and it is a cult. I jokingly said it wasn't, but it is technically probably qualifies as a cult.
Would you call it I can't do it. I was gonna try and mix your name with cult. Curlt? Would you call it a curlt?
Curlt. I don't know what that is.
A cult of personality.
Mm-hmm.
A cult of personality. Yeah.
Yep. We got Justin Scott over in the YouTube chat. First of all, welcome everybody who's listening live. He says the boys are live.
Scott?
What?
Yeah. No, Justin Scott says good shit. We just have good shit on that line.
Yeah. Well,
it's literally good shit.
We do. He says the boys are live. Can't wait to hear some good shit tonight. Definitely got some topics to discuss tonight. Yes, we do. As we always do. Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. Was.
So we've got a couple announcements here, but Kurt, I'll let you have the floor here, as I know you've got an announcement you want to make to all of our wonderful in the St. Louis let's just call it the St. Louis metro area.
The metro area, yeah. There is a VIP party at Sports and Social at Ballpark Village this Saturday, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And everyone is invited. Come on down. You just go to the front door, check in, say you're with the Kurt Price VIP party, and you will be given, I guess it's a wristband of sorts, whatnot, and you'll get specials on $3 draft beers, $4 call cocktails, and $5 house wines and hoop teas. And there's $2 off appetizers. So if you've never been to Sports and Social, Ballpark Village, it is in that courtyard area, kind of adjacent to Cardinals Nation. And it's they have a bar inside, they have food options, and they have some games you can play. I think it's like ping pong, air hockey, skee ball, some other stuff, and tables and stuff. So you hang out and chat, and there's a bunch of TVs in there for sports and stuff. So it's a good little hangout, and come on down for a VIP party where you get specials on drinks and such. So it'll be a good time. 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. this Saturday. That's March 2nd.
Right. That will give everyone a great outlet to go and drink away yet another Blues loss for another Saturday afternoon game.
Yeah, watch the Blues struggle to score goals, and come on down and have some cheap alcohol.
A good question that I'm not sure either of you will be able to answer. Do you know if they will have the City game on?
I don't know why they would not.
Okay. I'm asking, do they have Apple TV is guess what I'm asking.
Well, it's called Sports and Social, and It is a St. Louis downtown bar, and they should. I don't know if they do, but they should. Anyone can call and ask Sports and Social.
Well, so I don't think they call it anymore, but in South County, we have a bar here. I will not name names because I do like the bar. But they used to call themselves the South County home for St. Louis Blues fans, but they did not have the NHL package, and I believe they still don't. So I'm like, you can't call yourself the home of Blues fans and not carry any NHL games outside of the Blues.
Technically,
I know you can, but it doesn't seem right.
What I mean is, if they're the home of the Blues and they have all the Blues games on, I think that qualifies. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
You want to have other NHL games on.
I feel icky about it. Like
if you're a hockey bar,
if you're going to basically, that's what they're basically claiming. We're a hockey bar. You go in there on a non-Blues night, you can't watch hockey. So that's my point. So I also, yes, that sounds awesome. I don't know if I'll be there. I think Bill said he's going to do his best to be there. I'm working on it. We'll see. But thanks for the invite, Kurt. Again,
yeah, seriously.
For those,
you got to say my name. to get the to be, I guess it's a wristband they give you. I don't know what it is, but just you got to say you're with the Kurt Price VIP party, and they'll give you your thing, and then you can get your discounts.
And it's a VIP party at the Sports and Social, which where is that located?
Ballpark Village, right next to Cardinals Nation, in that courtyard there.
Okay,
where that AstroTurf field is.
Yep,
it's right in there.
Very cool. Yeah, I would think especially if it's at Ballpark Village, you have to think they have overarching that the entire place has Apple TV. So you would hope.
I mean, it's you can't. You're in Ballpark Village. It's it's like the sports hub of downtown, right?
Yep.
You have to have everything.
Yeah, I would hope. Other announcement that I do not have listed, but I did want to call note to it for our local teams. Good luck to the Blues youth hockey. Let's just call it St. Louis metro area hockey teams, as the Blue Note Cup is set for March 2nd to the 3rd. Blues Youth Hockey is presented by First Community. Tournament will take place at Se13 Community Ice Center, so that is this weekend. There is literally games. I'm looking at the schedule now. Saturday from 9 a.m. to about 8:30, and Sunday from about 8:40 to about 6 o'clock at night. So there will be games all weekend. If you're interested in seeing some up-and-coming St. Louis, and not just St. Louis, we have people from all over the country that come here. 35 different teams from Missouri, Illinois, and Arkansas took home a Blue Note Cup in 2023, and now a new crop of teams will get a chance to earn that title. Something I noted that I don't remember them doing before. I've gone to the Blue Note Cup, a couple different games here and there the last couple of years. I don't think they've done this before, but I could be wrong. If you've attended, correct me. Fans attending the Blue Note Cup will have the opportunity to purchase new and game-used Blues equipment from Rinkside Reserve, which will be open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday and 10 a.m. until 5 on Sunday. So if you are in the area and you want to watch some local youth hockey, it is a very fun tournament to watch. Lots of good hockey, some of the best in the area. And again, apparently they've got equipment for sale that you can go in and buy. So might be going just for that reason alone. Check that out. You guys ever attended Blue Note Cup before?
I have not.
I have not either.
I've got a friend that actually listener of the show, listener Leon. His sons participated the last couple of years. I'm not sure if they're there this year, but if he is, I will be heading out there, listener Leon, and I will check out his game. Just let me know when that is.
Listener Leon, that sounds like a repeat guest on a shock jock morning radio show.
It really does.
Listener Leon.
Yep. That's why I call him that. All right. So let's move into official beers of episode number 452. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. You got Kurt Price at CPrice12. I, myself, Jeff Ponder, J Ponder 94. Bill is at Billy Blue Note 33. We've ran across some hard times. Let's give it one more week. Because we usually try to switch that up when that happens. I'll give it one more week, Kurt. We'll start with you.
I was going to say I will relinquish my pole position, I guess you'd say, with this
pole.
Yeah. So, but no, we'll give it one more week. And if how many games we got this week? We've got.
Hang on, it's at the bottom here.
We just lost 2.
So we've got 3 this week.
Okay, so if we don't do better than 2-1, or if we don't do 2-1 or better, like if we're 500 or worse, then somebody else take it.
All right.
5.
I would say if we don't go 3-0, because we got to start winning, go on some streaks here to get back in the playoffs.
How about at least 2-1?
5 out of 6 points.
How about at least
5 out of 6 or better?
5 out of 6 or better. Okay. All right.
So 5 or 6 points.
That works.
Next 3. Okay. This week on Reading Rainbow, I don't know why I said that. I'm doing the marshmallow and chocolate milk stout, the Charleston Chew candy bar stout from Four Hands in St. Louis, Missouri. I keep finding these. I found this in my fridge downstairs. I thought I was done with the candy bar stouts, but I have one more. I'm like, I guess I better drink it. So it's just, you've been there, right? You're doing something in the house, like, you find a beer like behind the couch, or
Between the
Under
couch
the-
cushions.
behind the dehumidifier in the basement.
That's the sign of an alcoholic when you're just hiding beer all over the house.
Yeah. I get my workbench out in the garage, and I find, there's half a 6-pack underneath the back of the toolbox. I forgot that was back there. So yeah, I'm gonna have this tonight, which I enjoy. It's not my favorite of the candy bar stouts, but it's a good one. Bill, you said
I've had it.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah.
My second beer tonight will be if I get to a second beer tonight, which, judging by the looks of things, on beer number 1,
Yeah, you will.
yeah, I'll get there.
Especially with the games
Almond
we're
Joy
about to
one.
talk about.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I'll try the Almond Joy one. I've had the other two. Really like the Snickers one. Charleston Chew wasn't bad, but the Snickers one was definitely better.
Yep, I agree.
Especially because I was eating a Snickers pie while drinking it. It was very good.
Oh,
That's also a great movie with Peter North.
Snickers pie.
Yeah.
Peter North.
Obviously, Jeff has a.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because I was flipping through the stations,
and you saw Peter North.
No, well, yeah, but it was a Vice channel, and I'm just going through the guide, and I said the show was Sex Before the Internet. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I flipped it on, and they were talking about scrambled porn, and they were talking about how that you were watching scrambled porn so closely, just looking for a nipple, or something. And he was like, "Yeah, that's it. There it is. That made it worth it." So that was kind of funny because I was like, "Oh my god!" And how that's a thing that's not
Today's kids will never understand.
Today's kids will never understand the 20 minutes you're just staring at the TV looking for anything, a nipple or something.
Yep.
They don't know.
I
don't know.
I got to tell this awful parent story. Something I did. So okay, I too long to tell. What I use to watch cable TV, hockey, baseball, whatever. It's just a program that I have. It's something that I've downloaded, and it allows me to view whatever. And there's different channels on there. Every now and then shit gets added that I'm just like, oh, that's new. And I'll just kind of, peek at whatever it is. I was literally sitting there with my son, and I was scrolling through, and, we're sitting together. I've got my arm around him. We're watching hockey, and I just hit the scroll button, and I accidentally scrolled all the way to the bottom. And I'm like, adult live video. I'm like, what is that? And so I looked at it. It said like every channel name was like XXX, I don't know, Allison Tyler does this, XXX. And I'm like, and that is a real porn star name, by the way. But I'm like, okay, what is that? No, I'm like, that can't be. There's no way. There's not adult channels on here. Idiot Jeff, go ahead and just turn it on. So I turned it on, and oh yeah, there is quite the scene going on as I turn it on. And my son, who is nonverbal, out loud just goes, "Wow." I was like, oh no, turn it off. I'm like, oh god, what an
I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, so yeah, next week
Is that what that's for?
plan on a 2-person show, as Jeff will be definitely facing allegations.
Yeah,
Right.
Real life allegations. My wife was in the room too, and she's
what
like,
channel was that?
My wife was in the room too, and she just goes, "Why would you click that?" I was like, "It's a new channel. I had to see what it was." She's like, "You knew what it was."
What channel was it?
It's just some programmable internet streaming channel, I guess, that my server picked
Spice?
up.
You got Spice channel?
No, it's not Spice.
Playboy channel?
I don't know.
Playboy bought Spice. I learned a lot from that show. Sex Before the Internet.
We are
the Playboy
so
channel bought
derailed
Spice
here.
TV. Yeah, it was actually quite interesting, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's pretty good.
Bill, I think you're up next I think we're still on beer.
Are we? Are we sure? I had
as Justin Scott's just talking hockey in the chat.
No, yeah, you guys want to talk hockey? You want to hear hockey talk? Watch the chat, because apparently they're the only ones that talk hockey.
Right. I had a whole theme thought up for this selection in my beer tonight, and now I just don't think I can follow through with it after all that talk. So mine tonight is
Fudge Packer.
Das Vidania rye barrel aged.
Stout.
It's a rye whiskey barrel aged imperial stout. I was gonna say, it'll be appropriate for all. We'll be saying Das Vidania to all way too many players because we're playing like shit right now, and we need to just turn some of this roster over. But
the Baked Beaver just got here. I'm so confused. Don't worry, everybody who's listening is too.
With a name like Baked Beaver, you shouldn't be.
Yeah, you're fitting right in with the conversation right now. My beer, also a chocolate stout. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is.
We all have chocolatey beers.
We do. Just a show favorite here. Four Hands peanut butter and chocolate milk stout, absence of light. Just a wonderful, wonderful beer. It has been my go-to for rough days, and so I did have one of these earlier today after work. So just a wonderful beer. All right, let's get into some actual hockey talk here, folks. Roster updates for the Blues. So we've seen these kind of occur throughout the week, but Justin Falk was activated from the IR on Monday. Falk missed the last 12 games before that due to a lower body injury. The Blues assigned Matthew Kessel to Springfield when that happened. I had said, and I know your guys' points are valid, so I know you'll make them here. I had said I didn't like this move. I thought it's time to move Tyler Tucker down. I don't care that he has to go through waivers. If you're worried about losing Tyler Tucker, you are worried about something completely silly, because to me, at this point, I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't know if he's ever really going to truly be an NHL defenseman. So I didn't like sending Kessel down, but I guess at the same time, if you're moving Tyler Tucker down, you're probably putting Kessel in his place, which means he is going to be your seventh defenseman. So at that point, wouldn't you rather he get the minutes in Springfield? So I have turned the corner to say I think it's the right move. If you can move Kessel down, go ahead and do it. And that way he's getting the playing time in Springfield.
Right.
I suppose.
Yeah, it's the logical move, but I would have rather seen Tucker go down, risk losing him on waivers, and let Kessel get some time in the press box to watch the game from a different perspective. And he was
so good.
Yeah, and he's
initially
it's late in the season. He's still young, still adapting to a long season, and I thought just a little more rest, but maybe they've got a better plan with sending him down, and these are the things you need to work on. You'll be back up if we make the playoffs.
He was really good the first handful of games he played, and then it tailed off.
Right.
And he wasn't. It was particularly bad actually a couple of games near the end there. But again, he's young. And I'm looking forward to hopefully him, progressing as a player and taking the next step next year. So
yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think he is a future piece of this Blues defense. I think when this team's good, I think Matthew Kessel's a good third or fourth defenseman, possibly even on this team. So he's a guy that's going to fill in I don't know what to call it, but kind of in a Nick Leddy, like possible second defenseman to your top defenseman, possible third guy, good puck mover, maybe like a Krug, but not so much a power play quarterback. So I like his skating ability. I think he's really good at breaking up plays. He gets in the middle. He ties up sticks. I agree his play really did tail off there the last, I'd say, 6 or 7 games. I even made the comment, I think, on the show that it was a big deal when he finally got his first NHL point. And I'm like, yeah, but this was his worst game as an NHL player. So it's hard to fully praise that point, because it's like you were better before you scored the point. So, and then it just kind of got worse from there. So we'll see. But Justin Falk so far, I think he's looked better than he's looked all season. So maybe he is finally fully healthy.
And the forgotten man, Callie Rosen, just sputtering along. He's a free agent, restricted or let's see.
He'll be unrestricted.
Rosen is a unrestricted free agent next season. Man, they're not going to re-sign him, are they?
No.
Nope.
He's
That
whatever
sucks.
reason. And honestly, again, I think if you can improve your defense in other ways, you could absorb
Right.
a Callie Rosen loss. It's not the end of the world, but he is still, to me, one of the better defensemen on this team, and it's crazy he's not getting the minutes.
Yep. Cheap and effective.
Yep.
And that's
Cheap and effective, and he's getting blocked by the players with no trade clauses. 5 of them right now on the Blues roster. Falk, Krug, Parayko, Leddy, Scandella. Who, to be honest, Scandella's had a good year.
Great year for him.
Yeah, and Leddy's been okay. And Parayko's been great. Krug's been better than last year, and Falk has not, but whatever. They're not going to sit those guys.
Right.
So that's 5 of the 6 right there.
And Falk, to his credit, he has been dealing with injury for a while now. But it's painful to see that there's just no flexibility. Army locked us into this 5-headed monster of a defense that we're seeing, and just I don't know. When we get into the hockey talk, maybe a good topic is, is it an issue of into the game talk, I should say, not the hockey.
I was going to say, are we not in hockey talk right now?
When we get into the game talk, it would be a possible good topic is it an issue of the offense not helping the defense enough, or what? Because there have been so many boneheaded plays in the last few games.
Yeah, I agree. Casey Gorak over in Facebook chat says, totally disappointed this week, but listening to you guys makes me realize what's happening and not jump to just getting pissed off. Great job of breaking everything down. This was a discussion piece we had, and we don't have to get fully into this now, but that I had earlier in the year of I'm not pissed. Like I'm not walking out of games when they lose, even when they get blown out. What the fuck moments? Because to me, this is who this team is. So for me, I'm not getting upset. And I still, to this point, we're in basically March at this point. And I'm still at this point where I'm not really like, what the fuck? Like, turn the TV off, throw the controller. Like, I've not been there all year. And I think it's just expectations are what you need to remember.
Well, it's 2 things. I bet it's our expectations for this team going into the season, which, like you said, is about where we thought they'd be. Also, it's we've got the cup win in 19. Yeah. That's never going to go away. There's not that lingering motherfucker. We're never going to win the cup. It's just there's not that extra level of frustration on your shoulders from like still not being a cup winner. Okay, we've got the cup win. 19. So now it's like, okay, now we're trying to get number 2.
Yep.
And that's not near as. I mean, we're still close enough to 19 to where it's like, we're not throwing our arms up in ridiculous disgust, although the sane fans aren't. There are a lot of fans out there that are just like batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the winning the cup at 19, that goes a long way for future frustration.
And I'll say I had some moments last year where I was throwing my arms up. What the fuck? Like, and I think honestly, it was because you could see defensively there was a structure issue, and Mike Van Ryn was still behind the bench every single night. And it's like, oh my God, it's glaring, this problem. Get rid of this motherfucker. Guess what?
Right.
He's gone. This year, we still have our defensive problems, but not at all like we saw last year. So for me, it's like
much better.
I can't even get that mad because I'm like, at least they made the big organizational change they need to make this team be able to actually even compete to make the playoffs.
Jesus Christ. Was that? I just saw an amazing goal the Kings scored on Vancouver. And Vancouver, by the way, tonight, wearing their best jerseys they've ever had.
So are you saying
black skate,
LI scored on Vancouver?
Yeah, their black skate jerseys. Man, who was that?
I need to get that game.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that was an amazing left-handed shot from the left circle, far post. Oh my God, that was
I was
Kopitar.
stupidly on Chicago and Colorado. I have no idea why I was watching.
Yeah,
that game.
that's what I'm on right now.
It was 4-0. Yeah, I've got
LA Vancouver is a better game.
That was a good shot.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I just changed it, and I agree. That jersey is beautiful.
Oh, that jersey is sick. Yeah, it's good. None of this. I mean, I like the colors of the rectangle with the hockey stick, but what the fuck is that? It's a rectangle with a hockey stick. Come on.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I like the colors.
I don't like the one that said like Canucks or no, it was Vancouver across the top too.
Yeah, not a fan of that either. Too. I always hated the whale breaking through the sea. I know some people like that. I
didn't like that either.
I didn't like it.
I agree.
The Messier era.
All right, guys. The DVs. Come on.
Guys, I am hard up against a break. So we're going to take it. So when we get back from break, we have got plenty to discuss.
Hold on.
Oh, Jesus. One more thing.
What? One more.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Not correct.
Well, it's either now or never. It's 10:12. So I figured we got to do it before the break. Can't do it after.
Since I have set an alarm for Wednesdays at 10 o'clock on my wristwatch, we have not had a show on a Wednesday. So it goes off at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday. I'm like, damn it, we should be doing the show right now.
Yeah, well, okay.
All right.
We will not miss with the 11 o'clock. I promise.
All right. So we will be taking a break here, guys. We've got plenty to talk about, including something that directly involves a listener of this show. So really,
what could it
this
be?
show is a huge proponent of a pro hockey league. So
is it big news?
It's pretty
Jeff?
big news. I think it's pretty damn big news.
I mean, like, is it like nationwide news?
It is nationwide news.
That directly affects a close friend of the show?
Close friend of the show who is a avid listener and I believe is even in the chat right now.
Is that right? And he's involved with something that's nationwide in a pro hockey league.
Yeah, I think we've teased it enough. So when we get back from break, we will talk about that as well as the Blues 3 losses this past week and everything else Blues hockey. You are listening to Jeff, Kurt, and Bill on Let's Go Blues Radio. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
We'll return after these messages.
We've all tried a diet or workout fad at one time or another, but it always ends the same, right? We either lose the weight and then get back to our routine, but then put the weight right back on, or it just simply never takes hold. It's time to move into a habit-based program that focuses on organization and simplicity. Rock and That Idea Life's Lean 30 lays it all out for you with the correct food to eat, how to meal prep, and even sprinkles in plenty of healthy recipes. With Lean 30, you'll get the full ID Life arsenal, including energy for that needed kick, a tasty Nourish shake for your needed fiber intake, Slim Plus to help control your cravings and provide a metabolic boost, Lean capsules help bust those sugar cravings, and IED Nutrition gives you the added punch you need that takes the guesswork out of what supplements to take. Join the many who are seeing success and make this your last first day on a new program. Visit rockandthatidealife.com to get started, and remember to email Dustin at rockandthatidealife@gmail.com for an extra 10% off exclusively for Let's Go Blues radio listeners. Start your transformation to the confident, vibrant person you've always wanted to be with rockandthatidealife.com.
St. Louis hockey fans know how it takes a reliable captain and a team of hard workers to achieve major goals. As a police officer and a hockey player, realtor Mike Burgoyne would wear the C in any situation. As a leader in the home buying or selling process, Mike has surrounded himself with a team of trustworthy inspectors, lenders, and escrow officers that work together more cohesively than Hall & Oates. And as a member of many teams in his life, Mike knows the service our first responders, veterans, nurses, teachers, and yes, even you Let's Go Blues Radio listeners provide the community, so he offers special rates to those individuals. Find the value in Mike's leadership and teamwork today by emailing him at mike@strikewithmike.com or calling 314-753-4060. He'll work closely with you and only show you the homes that match your goals. That email again is mike@strikewithmike.com or call him at 314-753-4060 and succeed with your new teammate today.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
So, the big news that we were teasing before break, the PWHL, which is the Pro Women's Hockey League, they have adopted, I believe it's called the Copper Plan? From our friend Adam Copper, or Adam Platinum. Tin plan. Adam Tin. Plan. No, of course, the Gold Plan from our friend Adam Gold, who is Winning Unlimited in the YouTube chat. So please, if you are listening live and you're in YouTube, please congratulate our friend Adam Gold, because we'll get to it. But this guy has put in, miles of work and years off his life for putting this thing together and trying to get it implemented somewhere. So it has finally happened, and congratulations to Adam. The Gold Plan. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that if you are familiar with, this goes back a ways, but Shane Doan was outspoken and proponent of Adam Gold's plan years ago.
Which he didn't know that he basically proposed it, and they were like, that's already a thing. That's the Gold Plan. And he didn't even know that was what he was referring to. So it was like, oh, well, this Gold Plan sounds amazing. So basically, if you are unfamiliar with what the Gold Plan is, it emphasizes competitiveness after playoff elimination in order to acquire the first overall pick in the following season's draft. The PWHL will be adopting the Gold Plan for determining the draft order. The concept was first introduced in 2012 by a then student named Adam Gold. And I'm pretty pissed they didn't put listener of Let's Go Blues Radio. Like, what the hell?
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Come on. It's only to his benefit.
Right.
Yeah. Adam's benefit to be associated with this show.
Yeah. Right. It's not the other way around.
No. It is definitely the other way.
So basically, starting this season, this is starting right away. In the PWHL, once a team is mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, it begins earning what they're calling draft order points. In all subsequent games using the league standard points system, the team with the most draft order points at the end of the regular season will be awarded the first overall pick in the draft. The second non-playoff team with the most draft order points will have the second overall pick. So for those that are unfamiliar, and they did announce more here with the playoffs with PWHL, but there's only 2 teams not making the playoffs. There's only 6 teams to start the PWHL. So you got 4 teams making the playoffs. So the last 2 teams will be battling with those draft order points once they're eliminated. And I could be wrong, but I talked with Adam about this a little while ago. And he said that there are a couple matchups that could potentially be direct competition for that first overall pick late in the season. So that would be fun. That is a game to tune into, which who'd have thought? Think about it in NHL terms. You've got this season, who are the 2 worst teams? What, the Blackhawks and the
Sharks.
Sharks. Yeah, let's say Blackhawks and Sharks. You're telling me April 1st, if those 2 teams were meeting, we'd be like, that's a must-see game. No, this year would be like, who fucking cares? They're both not making the playoffs. But in this system, that'd be a must-see game because they're both battling for supremacy to draft first. So
seeing those franchises both go all out to try and win that game, as opposed to what happens often now is that teams will, sit players, bring up players, whatever, to, quote, tank or throw games at the end of the season. Not ice their best roster. They would be icing a good roster, right? And the games would be exciting. Fans would have. Fans watch games anyway, but it's usually hoping their team loses. Yeah. Right. If they're in competition for that number 1 overall pick. But now they're rooting for the team under this plan. They'd be rooting for their team to get more points after being eliminated, right? Yep. Correct. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic.
And that's the thing is, like, once the Blues were basically, it was pretty clear last year they weren't going to make the playoffs. How many people were like, tank, trade everything. Let's try and get first or second overall pick. Right. Well, in this plan, you're still rooting for your team to win. So for me, it's like you don't have that divide with the other fans of your fan base anymore of, I just want to see them win. I want to see them compete. I don't care if they make the playoffs, versus the others that are like, lose every game, try to get the first overall pick. that doesn't matter anymore. Now in this system, everybody wants your team to win because you get the competitiveness and you're still trying to get that first overall pick. Yep. Adam's in the chat here. He's got a couple things that I definitely want to highlight here in a minute. But just a couple of things he's mentioning here, a couple names that he's thrown in there. The idea to adopt the goal plan concept was first brought up by the PWHL's Senior Director of Game Operations and Fan Experience, Burton Lee. Jana Hefford, the PWHL's Senior Vice President of Hockey Operations, said she immediately loved the idea. And once the Hockey Operations Department decided to go in that direction, the league made a point to reach out to Gold. This is a quote from Miss Jana Hefford. He's a brand new PWHL fan and really excited to be a part of this and really excited that our league is now adopting the draft order that he's come up with. We're excited to see it play out this season. So again, just speaking generally from Let's Go Blues Radio, including our friend and producer Austin and the entire fan base of the show, the listener base, Adam, and for me personally, I've known, Kurt, I know you too. We've known Adam for a very long time. He has talked about this plan since he came up with it. And I've always been a fan of it. I know you have too, Kurt, Bill. I'm not sure about you, but I'm all for it. And I think this is amazing. And as I've said on social media, testament to hard work pays off. And this is what Adam's been doing for 12 years after he adopted this idea. And just want to say congrats, brother.
I do believe I saw a video, I don't know if it's on YouTube or somewhere. There's a video of him giving a presentation with this plan. And I can't remember where I saw it. But maybe Adam can, if that's a publicly shareable link, I don't know. But maybe he could share it. But I remember seeing him give a presentation on it that explains it. He has a slideshow presentation. Very informative. So that was, and I went to pull it up on YouTube thinking that might be it, but I don't see it right off the bat. So yeah, congrats, Adam. That's it's fantastic. Happy for you, bud. Looking forward to the PWHL and how this works for them. And also hopefully in the future, it'd be nice to see some other leagues adopt this for their model as well.
Yeah, as I told him, this is a springboard. That's all this is. Like it's exciting either way. It doesn't matter what league adopted it first. They're going to see the fruits of the labor here, and I think teams eventually, this is going to be the way to go for all leagues.
How good is it? How cool is it that that he finds out that they want to use his plan, and it's not something that they say, yeah, okay, so in 2030, we're going to start to use this. No. They're doing it now.
And they've been,
it's like, that's just great.
They've been an innovative league. They came out with the 3-point win system to start the year. The other thing they announced this week, also, it would be remiss if we didn't reveal this as well. The league also announced on Wednesday that the 2024 PWHL playoffs, which begin the week of May 6th, will include the top 4 teams in the regular season standings. The number 1 seed will be awarded the opportunity to select its semifinal opponent between the 3rd or 4th place teams. The semifinal and final will be a best-of-5 series. So we saw this a little while ago. I want to say the ECHL did this where they allowed the first team to pick who they would play in the first round. So we're seeing it here, and I think I love it. I'm all for the PWHL being an idea machine for all these innovative ideas in the sport of hockey.
And don't think that the upper leagues don't look at this and see how this works out for these leagues, because that's how this generally works. Like the NHL, Major League Baseball, NFL, they see these other leagues adopt these systems for whatever, and they see how it works. And okay, we'll it's almost like an experimental thing for them to see how it works, and then they decide if they want to possibly go that route in the future. So this is obviously just a cool thing.
Bill, we have not heard from you. What are your thoughts on the goal plan?
Yeah, no, I love it. I love the idea of starting with incentive as a economics major in college. I love that. I love what is somebody's motivation, right? And you don't want teams tanking. That's just bad product no matter what. So to see a professional league adopt this, just awesome to see. I love the framework. I think there are probably a few people who would hate it, and it's mostly going to be the broadcasters because it's going to disincentivize trades, right? You're not going to want to unload, just to get as many draft picks as possible. You're still going to need talent, right? I think this kind of plan, if it were in effect in the NHL today, it would mean Pavel Buchnevich is not being talked about as a trade target, right?
Yeah.
Blues need him to get as many points as they can. And, that's what goes away is, right, you're not going to stop wanting points. And I just think that's brilliant.
And sorry, I'll just add too that I think that one of the big naysayers that I've seen, like people like general comments about why they don't like it, is because they say it would discourage trades at the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. First of all, we're already not seeing a ton of trades trade deadline. It's been, compared to years past, the last 10 years, it's been almost nothing. Second of all, I do still think you're going to see trades. Like, maybe you're not, like you said, Bill, maybe you're not moving a Buchnevich, but I still think teams would still be like, because again, it's not like you're trading your, you're trading your first pick in 2024 to pick up Buchnevich. Like, most teams aren't like always doing that anyway. So for me, I would look at it like teams are still going to want something in return. Like, if there's a player that's going to be an unrestricted free agent, it's either going to push them to try and re-sign that player, or it could say, yeah, we want to win points. We want to get more points so we can get the number one pick, but we could also trade this guy and get other assets in return that are already under contract. So I think that there would still be some hockey trades made at the trade deadline.
I think in some cases it would encourage trading. Just because teams, might not see themselves in a position to compete for the number one pick over under the gold plan, maybe for some reason or other, and they would say, you know what, we don't think we can make that work, so we're going to make some trades instead, and that would, instead of competing for the number one pick, we'll just make some trades and acquire picks or players that way, and make hockey trades even,
right?
Just to get better in general.
Yeah,
not necessarily to trade for the future or trade away talent for prospects or future considerations. Actually, make a hockey trade.
Yep.
To get better right now.
Right,
yeah.
And so they might make trades to get better to get the number one pick,
like the Blues did last year when they brought in Vrana, Blais, and Kapanen. It was like
they can make a trade to get better to get the number one pick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, too.
Yeah, no, I definitely love the idea of more hockey trades and not just, teams just being able to decide we're going to rebuilding mode and never come out of it. Right?
Yeah, I would. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, once you're eliminated, or whatever, if the trade deadline happens, you're not going to be a playoff team, but so you make a trade in anticipation for competing for that number one pick.
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
so
if it's a rental, you could rent a player, right?
Just
to go for the number one pick.
Right. It actually opens it up, right? A new type of buyer is out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think someone that was said that it's going to hurt trading, and that's the opposite would probably happen.
I think it would make the more middle level teams, like right now the St. Louis Blues, be more open to trading, because they'd be like, well, we're kind of at both ends of the spectrum here. We could either trade up to try and get into the playoffs, or we could trade down for future assets, because we would have a better shot at not making the playoffs, getting eliminated sooner, and then start earning points after that elimination. So I think it's a win-win-win all across the board.
If you do a search for hockey, gold plan, Adam Gold, tanking, there's articles on Sportsnet for this. There's Reddit discussions about it. It's not some secret, that's out there. It's been discussed at length. And so it's this is cool.
All right, I've got to share because again, we've all hung out with Adam. We all know Adam. So one of the first times I ever met Adam in person, because I'd known him from the Let's Go Blues Radio or letsgoblues.com forums. I had talked to him on social media before, but he started coming out when we started holding these the Ponder Cup tournaments. So in 2015, so for those that are unaware with the way that works, it's individual signups. So people sign up for the tournament. It's a one-day tournament. And then we get together like the weekend before and we draft teams. We have people fill out questionnaires, figure out what kind of player they are. And then we have 5-6 guys, however many teams there are, draft those players in a bidding system. And so Adam showed up, and none of us had ever met him before. He had signed up for the tournament, and I saw his name, and I was like, Adam Gold. I'm like, I think that's that Winning Unlimited guy on the Let's Go Blues forums. And so he shows up, and he introduces himself. I'm like, oh, Adam Gold, it's so nice to meet you. And we talked a bunch that night, and, you know, he got to know a lot of my hockey friends. And then I had a couple drinks. Let's just say it was at a bar. I think it was at Buffalo Wild Wings in Baldwin. Yeah, no, shocker. And so we're sitting around draft teams. I've got the beers flowing. I've had a couple too many. And Adam's like, so you know about the gold plan, right? Which I had read about, but I didn't fully understand it. And I didn't know he was the one behind the gold plan. And so I'm like, yeah, I know what the gold plan is. And he's like, so you understand how it works? I'm like, no, not at all. So he just starts explaining it. And again, like he's a math guy. So he's like pulling out, you know, algorithm talk. And I'm just like, whoa, slow down, bro. And I'm like, so I even said at one point, I go, why do you know so much about this? And he goes, because it's my plan. It's the gold plan. And I'm like, no, bro, no. And he's like, yeah, dude. He's like, the gold plan. And he like pulled it up. And I'm like, oh my God, that's you. And he starts telling me about it again. I'm like, you got to wait till I'm sober, man. I'm not ready to understand this yet. So yeah, that was my introduction to Adam. And, you know, we've been friends ever since. A lot of my hockey friends all know him because he plays beer league. And yeah, just, I can't express how happy I am for Adam. This is something he has worked toward for a long time. And I'm very happy that it finally paid off for him.
There's I just found and I can't really listen to it now or watch it now because doing the show, but there's apparently a video on the Hockey News, which was posted today, and they're discussing, should the NHL adopt the PWHL's anti-tanking gold plan? So I don't know if anyone's seen that, but I'll share. I don't even know what they say. They could be for it. They could be against it. I don't know, but there it is in the chat.
Yes, both Facebook and YouTube chat was posted. And I'll add too that we are working with we're also working with Adam to get him on for an interview as well to kind of break down the gold plan even more for those that may not understand or want more clarity. Clearly, there's a lot of wheels turning right now at the PWHL, so we will hopefully get him on sometime soon, maybe even over the summer. And we will have Adam break down the plan because it is fascinating and it's really cool and glad we're going to see it live.
I don't think I've met anybody who was against this. Have you? Have you heard about anybody who was against this? I'm sure there's somebody in Reddit. There's I was going to say
I've seen comments on like Hockey News, but I don't count that. That's just people who are pissed at the world and want to naysay everything. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, and it's funny because you think
on the internet.
You think about it, and you know, it's like, I guess for me, it's like I'm trying to think. Like, I know the guys that in our hockey circles that play with Adam all love it, and it's like, well, do they love it because they know Adam, or do they love it because it's a good plan? And I'm like, I mean, no offense, Adam, but it's like, I think it's because it's a good plan. Like, I don't think it's just because they're like, oh, I know the guy that did that. Like, they learn about it and they're like, holy shit, this is the way to go.
It's perfectly logical. So it won't happen, but it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
I want to see it happen.
So cheers to Adam. Congrats, buddy.
Clang.
Clang. Clank, clank. All right, so we will move on with some Blues talk. So not a good week for the St. Louis Blues. They go 0-2-1. They shit their pants in Detroit. They got spanked 6-1. A lot of ass puns there. Sorry about that. In this game, so
if you're gonna go pun,
what?
If you're gonna go pun, go ass.
There you go. Always.
Isn't that the phrase?
Yes, it is. So okay, I've got two stories going into this game. So first, I had a friend text me a week ago today, Thursday. It was like Thursday morning, and he's like, "Hey, a couple of my buddies and I, we're getting in the car. We're going to the Red Wings game on Saturday in Detroit. I had a buddy drop out. We've got a ticket already." He's like, "Can you go?" And I'm just like, dude, 12 years ago, yes. I've got a kid now. I've got a family. Just drop in at the drop of a hat to go to a Blues game in Detroit. I just can't do it anymore. Sorry. Good luck. So I turned the game on about 7 minutes late. I'm like, I had stuff going on. I was trying to get something. Like, the game's gotta watch the game. So I finally get downstairs. I turn the game on. I'm like, all right, here we go. Blues afternoon hockey, then City. This is gonna be a great fucking sports day. And it's 3-0. And I'm like,
well, you turned it on. You said 7 minutes in. So I kid you not. The Blues probably had possession of the puck in Detroit zone, maybe 10 seconds during the first 6+ minutes of that game. They did not. They were awful, and they couldn't do anything with the puck. They would bad pass here, bad pass there, overskating this, overskating that, can't get out of the zone, turning the puck over. It was awful, and they couldn't get across Detroit's blue line. And if the puck did cross the blue line, it was a dump, and Detroit brought it right back in. It was awful. It was some of the worst hockey I have seen the Blues. The first 6 minutes, some of the worst Blues hockey I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, Jeff talked earlier about not getting angry and yelling at the TV. This was the game that crossed the line for me. Oh my God, I was yelling at Parayko at one point, who I thought has had a great season, but oh God, yeah, I was so angry.
He was rough this week. He was rough this week. There was
everybody's going through a rough patch except Zachary Bolduc.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about a play Parayko made in the Winnipeg game a little bit later, but yeah, he had a rough week. And so I'll say, when I turned the game on, it was 3-0. The very first thing I said out loud was, "Whoo, glad I didn't go with my buddy to this game."
I had that
after the first. Go ahead, Bill.
I had that talk too. Like when we went to Nashville, how pissed would we have been had it been the other way around and we got the spanking, right? And
at least with the Nashville, you could go out and just drink on the strip afterwards, and maybe you could drown your sorrows.
Yeah,
sorrows, get it? But you know what? After the first 6-7 minutes, they played better. But still, I mean, they played better. And then that third goal killed them. The one off Fabry's shins, that clearing attempt. That the Blues grab the puck, clear it right out Fabry's shin, right in the goal.
Yeah, capping in.
Like, fuck. And then the fourth goal, to almost close out the first period on the power play, DeBrincat, that sucked.
Mm-hmm.
That was that was a power play goal. It was a great shot, but that was a backbreaker. Because to me, I thought the Blues were playing better after the horrible first 6-7 minutes. They were playing better, looking pretty good, getting some chances. They could have had a goal or two. And then that fourth goal just completely just took the wind out of me. I was like, that's it. Game's over.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys are aware that Patrick Kane now has more goals, 28, assists, 44, and points, 72 against the Blues than any other active player. So if you're looking for Blues killers, enemy number
it's
one
not Connor.
Is Patrick Kane.
It's not Connor.
Connor's got to be up there, right? He's got to be.
Yeah. Dude fucking gets 1 or 2 goals every time he plays us.
Yep.
And now Hyman too, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Hyman's a 40-goal scorer. What the fuck? Get to that later. So now at this point, the Blues have lost 3 of 4. But the one bright spot in this game, and I do hate when this happens in a game like this, Zachary Bolduc did score his first NHL goal on a very nice shot, and it was his 21st birthday. So congrats to Zachary Bolduc. who will never play in the NHL, according to Kurt Price.
I never said that.
Won't play 36 games in the NHL.
It was like 36, 38 games. That was for the Blues. I said he could go elsewhere. Now, this, at least when he scored this goal, it was 4-0, then it was 4-1. And at least it was early enough in the game where it was, okay, 4-1, it's within reach. We can celebrate it, right?
Yeah.
4-1, he can celebrate the goal. It wasn't like it was 6-0 and he scores with 30 seconds to go. You can't celebrate that goal.
Yeah.
He could celebrate this one. That was I felt happy for him that he could celebrate it.
Yep. So in this game, Detroit outshot the Blues 34-23. Jordan Binnington was in the starter's net. He made 10 of 14 saves. Joel Hofer came in 18 saves on 20 shots. On the power play, Blues were 0 for 2, and Detroit was 1 for 3. So just a forgettable game, to be sure, in Detroit.
Yeah, no, my thought watching that debacle was they thought it was the morning skate. They played with the intensity of a morning skate. It was just
it was 11 a.m.
Right.
They thought the Red Wings were wearing no contact jerseys. That's
right. Red, we can't hit them. No, it's, to me, the troubling trend with this team is just the lack of the lack of maturity from the key players on the team. Not being able to get out for early games was the one that stood out to me in this game.
Yeah. Ken Morris says watching the Red Wings game was worse than watching a rerun of Gilligan's Island. I love that show as a kid.
I know, but that show has not aged well.
No. It's really bad.
Yeah.
And it's just more corny than funny now. Really bad, corny. But I like to remember it as I did as a kid, where it was funny. And I won't watch it now. But
that's how I am that's how I am with Fraggle Rock. I don't know if you've seen that as an adult.
I haven't seen it lately. Is it bad?
It does not age well.
It's a kid's show, though.
I know, but like I can still watch like old Sesame Street and laugh, or Animaniacs.
Sesame Street is
a great one.
Animaniacs. There's some adult jokes in Animaniacs.
Yes, there is. But Fraggle Rock does not hold up. It does not.
Hello, nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, at least with Gilligan's Island, you would get to see a little bit of Ginger and Marianne, right? But that was
true. Very true.
They missed the boat. They never had them hook up. That's a shame.
They missed the boat. Nice. Is that intentional?
It's an ass pun.
It's an ass pun. There you go.
That is the single greatest Gilligan's Island joke has been told on Let's Go Blues Radio.
And it will
2024.
Yeah, it may be the only one ever told ever in the history of ever.
So
Ken Morris had a crush on Ginger.
Pun, isn't that a Rasmus Aspun? Plays for the was it the Florida Panthers?
I thought that
Rasmus Aspin.
I think it's Asplund.
Oh.
Whatever team.
Ken Morris had a crush on Ginger when he was a youth. I was a Marianne kid myself.
I'd go either way.
I found Ginger uppity.
Put
I was
your
like,
hands
nah,
together.
turn off.
Put your hands together. That's the way I see it.
And Gilligan was all about Ginger, but she wouldn't give him the time of day. Pinky in the Brain, yeah, that's good stuff.
That is something I heard every day of my life in high school. Was hey Jeff, are you pondering what I'm pondering? I used to hear that all the time.
I sure am, Brain.
I think so, Brain.
I think so.
But how are we going to get Donald Trump into a tutu?
It's such a good show.
It was a good show. All right, so on to the next game. Blues lose their second straight 4-2 to the Winnipeg Jets. The Blues at this point have been outscored 12-3 in the first period in their past 7 games. Bull Duke did almost bring this game to within 1 goal, but hit the crossbar with about 9 minutes left in the third period.
That sucked.
Yeah, I thought, man, I mean, at that point it made it 4-3. It's like there's a more meaningful goal for Bull Duke, but so unfortunate. And then also in this game, I wanted to call out something that Coach Bannister did. I thought after the, I think was it Brendan Dillon put the Jets up 2-0. He made a smart call, and I thought he responded right away and said, let's put the fucking power line out there. So he puts the Blues top line out there, and Puchnevich picked up a rebound off a Scandella shot. The Blues were relentless in the O-zone before that. Multiple times the Jets had chances to clear the zone, but the Blues just hovered and smothered them all over. They could not get the puck out, and then Buchnevich taps in the rebound and past Brassois. And the Blues end up cutting the lead to 2-1. Just thought it was a very smart play by Bannister, because I think a lot of times you're looking for your energy line to come in on a 2-0 score right after a goal and get some offensive pressure. Then you cycle in that first line. I think Bannister was like, fuck this, go out there and score a goal. And that was well played.
30 seconds after Winnipeg scored. That was at the time, it was a huge response goal. That was big, making it 2-1. And they kind of broke it down in the replay on TV about how Buchnevich made a point to go to the net. So and it was great because they showed him cycling up out of the corner and then heading to the net and just being Johnny on the spot for that rebound. So good hockey sense there by Buchnevich, who a good chunk of this fan base once traded. So
that's unfortunate, but to a little broader context for that goal, right? Kyrou and Thomas were benched for the third period in the Detroit game. One shift is all they got. So, Bannister was taking out the dry powder and throwing them out there. Told them to go for it. They got it. Unfortunately, couldn't get anything going after that.
Yeah. So
Winnipeg was it? I think they showed that it was the last 16 games at home. They're 14-2, something like that. So but Winnipeg is a bitch to beat in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So
they are.
Right. And they play, like an energized team. They're bringing in players right now. They brought in Monahan. He had really great, found himself in a great soft spot for his goal. Got an assist. So first 2 points is a Jet against the Blues, unfortunately. But Winnipeg is playing very well right now.
Yep.
I'm going to agree with Justin Scott here. People acting like the games against Winnipeg and Edmonton were awful. I don't think they were awful games. I think the Blues, they didn't look terrible in these games. I think Winnipeg played very well. Mm-hmm. And I thought the Blues were in the Edmonton game the whole way. Yeah. Mistakes hurt them. And I agree with you. I thought they looked better against Edmonton than they did against Winnipeg. But still, I didn't think it was like the Detroit game at all. The Detroit game was just fucking terrible.
Yeah,
at least a good chunk of it was anyway. And but the Winnipeg and Edmonton games were much more competitive, I thought. I just think the result is probably just what the fans.
I think Bannister said, I think it was after this game, the Winnipeg game, that he said that the Blues only made a few mistakes in this game, but every one of them ended up in the back of their net. And I agreed with that. I thought overall they had a good game. I mean, they outshot Winnipeg 38-32. I thought Brassois played a very good game in goal. The defense for Winnipeg is insane. They're great. And they're just something I love about Winnipeg. And I say love as in a hockey fan, not as a Blues fan. Something I love is that is watching the way they play defensive and breakout strategy. They are so big and smothering. They just do not give you ice at all. The minute somebody gets a pass, there's at least one guy right on them. And it's mind-boggling when you see it, because you're like, eventually, if you cycle, you're going to get somebody open. Like, somebody will pop open somewhere. But against Winnipeg, it is hard to do. And it's one of those things, like Bannister said, that, he feels that, they capitalized on the few chances that they got in terms of Winnipeg. I think it's the same for beating Winnipeg. You have to capitalize on the few mistakes they make. And it's just hard to pick out mistakes in Winnipeg's game right now.
And you can't allow goals like Hofer allowed to Connor.
Oh,
I thought that goal was terrible.
Awful goal.
And the whole sequence was, Winnipeg's broadcast, which is what they have on the highlights at NHL.com for this goal. They said bad change by the Blues, it was a bad turnover.
Yes,
at the blue line.
Yes,
by the Blues. It wasn't a bad change. It was the turnover that got them. So, and then they quickly passed the puck back up, and Hofer allows that soft. You can't allow a lefty to score from that angle, far side coming on left wing.
Agreed.
That is awful. Yeah, a righty, he's got a better angle there, but a lefty scoring far post from that angle, that's terrible.
For me, it's like, and Bill, obviously we want your opinion here, but for me, I see that, and I'm just like, how is that even possible? Like, I'm a lefty. I have never scored from that angle far side. I've scored short side, like picked a really weird corner, between the arm and the post. But like, and that I would at least be a little more understanding. Like, okay, it's a lefty. He found the one little hole the goalie gave him. How is he scoring far side there? That makes no sense to me. That net should be covered.
Yeah, no, that was one of Hofer's weakest efforts on this season. It just, you shouldn't give that up. Very similar situation in the Edmonton game, and this is one of the points I was going to make is, as far as the Blues not learning from mistakes, they repeated it in the Edmonton game, but at least in the Edmonton game, you have the best player in the world forcing a pass through for the force, and Binnington got a piece of that one, but Hofer's got to stop that, right? If there's one save that has to be made in this game, it's this one, and he didn't do it.
And that was a
and if he makes that save, and if Balduc doesn't hit the crossbar, a lot of what ifs, right? So I mean, it's just
right.
The game was probably a little closer than what maybe some fans want to imply it was, but yeah, I mean, Bannister was right. I mean, the mistakes hurt him, and sometimes hockey games are. We've talked about this before. A series of mistakes, some worse than others.
Yeah.
But it's really who capitalizes the most on the other team's mistakes.
If there is a game where neither team makes a mistake, that game is ending 0-0 and going to a shootout.
That game has never existed.
No, there have been a couple of them.
No. I mean, a mistake-free game.
Yeah,
that's never happened.
No, but the limited mistake games are 0-0, right? Yeah. And go to a shootout. I think the Blues and Panthers played one of those about 12 years ago, if I recall. But it was just not, Ken Morris put in the chat, Hofer playing in his hometown. I thought that was the right call. I thought, of the two games, you're going to give Hofer the Winnipeg game. It is his hometown. He's going to have an emotional boost. Spoiler, save of the week comes from this game from Joel Hofer. We'll get to that later. But I thought, except for the Connor goal, I wouldn't really fault him. The Dylan shot from the point he was screened, right?
Yeah, he could.
I like that shot. I like that shot. That shot was tremendous.
Right.
Yeah. And I think he picks it up, but the fact that it was so well placed, it was kind of unsavable.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because he picked it up after it comes through the screen because the screen was out high.
Yeah.
But it's so well placed, he can't make the save.
I could be wrong, but I believe the Winnipeg broadcast said that shot was 96 miles an hour too. That's a hard shot.
They said, I listened to it before the show. I think it was 88.
Yeah, it was upper 80s.
I'm thinking of something else. Okay,
it was
still though, that's still a hard shot.
But yeah, the placement and for a goalie, blocker saves are always going to be the hardest, even though goalie sticks are now about 3 ounces and not the 12 pounds of lumber that I used to carry.
They weigh less than a Pinewood Derby car.
They do. It is insane. It is insane how light goalie sticks are. That is always the most awkward thing because you've got to hold it. You've got to hold the stick while getting the blocker up. it's a difficult motion to do. Dylan made a great fucking shot.
Oh, I mean,
just credit where credit's due. That was, I also played defense, and when you get a shot, you get it perfectly placed from the point. There's no better feeling in the world. So
yeah, you go bar down from the point.
Yeah,
it's like, phew. I mean, good luck saving.
I literally think of the thousands of games I've played, I think I've gone bar down on a slap shot from the point maybe once, and it was
bar down with the screen.
Yeah.
Bar down with the screen. He's not making the save.
No,
I mean, unless he's out of position, right, standing up, he's not making the save.
Yeah. I want to add on talking about the Connor goal, which we've kind of broken down already, but I do want to say, because Kurt, you did bring up, it wasn't a bad change, it was a bad play by Kapanen.
Blue line turnover.
That I lost it. That was okay. Talking about being pissed, I was pissed because that was a horrible play by Kapanen. I mean, boneheaded Eric Brewer type play where the Blues are breaking out on a 3-on-2. And Brandon Saad, which, by the way, the Winnipeg broadcast just keeps calling him Sad.
I know.
And I'm just like, God, come on. Yeah, so Sad is breaking up, and then I think it's Brendan Dillon that's defending Saad. And Kapanen just floats this nothing, idiotic, barbaric pass to Saad, but it's in fucking Dillon's feet. He just kicks it up to his stick, slides it up to Connor. Connor races in as the defense is changing and scores. Horrible. It's a 3-on-2, but it's well defended. At that point, because your defense is going for a change, just send it in. Get it in the fucking zone or carry it yourself. He could have carried it a little further, and he just fucking makes this horrible pass. And that's one of those plays where, and I'm getting back, when he's getting back to the bench, he better have got a fucking earful. What the hell are you doing? You got to get that shit deep. You can't just, that is an easy turnover for the Jets. And
you know what?
Horrible play.
You know what is interesting is that a defenseman or a skater will get chewed out for a play like that. But if a goalie comes back to the bench during in between periods after the game, he's not getting chewed out by anybody, is he? Bill, you ever been chewed out by your coach for allowing a bad goal?
Yeah.
During the game?
You have? Okay. During a game?
In between periods, yeah, I have.
Wow.
See, man, wow. So to me, okay, so I was always ultra uber sensitive about goalies. I never wanted to get on a goalie from one of my goalies ever, because I don't want them losing focus or getting pissed at me or overthinking anything. I just, I was always trying to be super encouraging, even on bad goals against. I was just like, you know what? Of course I would say things and murmur on the bench, but to the goalie, I'm like, no, it's always super encouraging stuff. I'm a little, I guess that maybe it's a thing. I don't know about chewing out a goalie in between periods for allowing a bad goal. But that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah,
you don't want to mess with the goalie's head,
right? You totally don't. You don't, especially because unless they're a total egomaniac. If they're more like me, we know when we fucked up. You don't got to tell us, and when you do tell us, it makes it 10 times worse.
Yeah, that's true. So again, Blues 38-32 shots. They take the lead there on that. So it's rare to see the Blues at this point outshoot the opposing.
It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
I told you last night. No.
There we go. That one was correct.
I was just going to do it.
Yeah,
I got it. We're good.
And hey, I even cut myself off there. So good.
That was impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. So Hofer again, he makes 28 saves on 32 shots. I said on Twitter, and I stand by it, he had a so-so game because, again, Bill already spoiled the fact that his save of the week comes from this game. He had a couple really nice saves, but he also allowed, I did not like, obviously, the goal against Connor. There was a goal later was it Perfetti that scored? I think it was the fourth goal.
It was Iafallo.
Yeah, where it bounced off the backboards and then it came back out and then he just sweeped it in. I felt like Hofer did not have the net covered like he could have.
No, it was 5-hole on Hofer. Iafallo banked it off of Hofer's inner pad into the net.
Yep.
Yeah, and he tried to squeeze his pads together and it just pushed it in. That was and the right when I saw it, I thought that's Vincent Riendo. Any goal that bounces off the backboards, comes in front and goes in, however, that's Riendo to me. That's like that trauma. That goal against it was Detroit. I think it was playoffs. Traumatized me as a kid.
Yeah.
That game.
To me, it's Patrick Lalime, Martin Roshinsky for the Rangers.
Yes,
banking it off of the backboards, off of Lalime's head into the net.
Lalime had some.
Did I ever?
That was at Schmieder's house.
I was at
Schmieder's house for that.
So that was 2005, right? 2005, 2006 season after the lockout, worst year in Blues hockey. I know I've told the stories before about me going to these games and. Because that was you could literally get in for like $5 and sit anywhere in the arena because nobody was going. I gotta say, all right, I gotta tell a funny story because it was this game. My dad used to go with my friends and I, and we would all go together. And my dad would be the DD. My friends and I would just get shit faced, and we'd have a great time. So there was these two groups of girls. They were both sitting about 8 rows above us or in front of us. Nobody else around them, nobody else around us, just completely empty section. And we told our buddy Justin, who at the time was like, never would talk to women, like scared of girls. We were like, hey, you should go up and hit on those girls. And because he was so drunk, he was like, yeah, all right. And we're like, he's like, what should I say? And I just go, I don't know. I'm like, maybe you could like use the milk line. And he's like, the milk line. So he does, which I don't know if you guys know what I mean. So we see him. He goes down the aisle, walks down. We're like, no fucking way. He goes down to these two Blues fans, these two girls sitting there. They had obviously had a couple drinks too. And he goes down and he just goes, hey, I know milk does a body good, but damn, how much milk you been drinking?
Oh, God. God,
I couldn't believe he did it, and we laughed our asses off. They laughed their asses off,
and they're married today.
Yes, that's how he met his wife. No, we ended up partying with these girls after the game. They thought it was hilarious, and yeah, that is the one positive memory I have from that game against the Rangers.
I guess that line probably relies heavily on delivery and how you say it, because if you just go out there and just say it, you sound like an idiot. You've got to really lay into it just to make it over the top stupid on purpose.
You've got to really be like animated and caricature when you say it, because if not, it just comes off as what the fuck.
And that says Justin Scott. Wow, you're describing me, Jeff, you fucker.
Yeah, exactly. His name is Justin.
Yeah, and it's a testament to how what's the word, stressful it is for men of a certain age or any age really to go up and talk to women. That lines like this have to exist to like have stupid icebreakers.
Yes,
it's just to get a foot in the door. You have to have like scripted shit to come to the plate with women. It's just so. I don't think women truly understand how stressful and difficult and awkward it is for most guys to just simply approach a woman or even make eye contact. My God. It's just insanely hard.
That's a sick goal. Are you watching the LA game?
Holy shit. What a pass by Kopitar. What presence of mind for Fiala to even try to put that puck in. He's already he's on the board.
Yeah, and that's
out in front of the net and taps it in.
That's the funny thing about a goal like that is you see that, and if that goal doesn't connect and Fiala's fucking skating behind the net, that's where like people are like, Jesus, what are you doing behind the net there, man? But He made himself perfect to go to make a beeline to the net and put in a perfect pass from Kopitar.
Well, that angle, he was like he received the puck. It was like 2 inches out in front of the end red line. And it's like he just
beautiful.
99 out of 100 NHL players missed that shot.
Oh, 100%.
That was a thing of beauty.
I don't care who you are.
I don't care who you is.
I don't care who you is. You missed that shot.
So in this next game, Blues cough up a 2-0 lead. They lose 3-2 in overtime against the Oilers. This was last night for us. If you're listening to the show on Friday, that was 2 nights ago. If you're listening on Saturday, that was 3 nights ago. So my first point is Zach Hyman is a 40-goal scorer.
Oh, apparently.
Who thought it? I mean, that's crazy to me. When they said when he scored his first goal and it was 39, I was like, what? That guy, he could get 50 this year. That's crazy.
Well, think back to Save of the Week. 2 weeks ago, Jordan Binnington on Zach Hyman, and at that point he was at 32. So he is on fire right now.
Yep. Yeah, it's a reminder to me. I mean, not obviously Hyman is a much better player than this, but it's a reminder to me about having a guy like McDavid on your line.
It helps.
Chris Simon.
He was putting up a crazy amount of assists.
Chris Simon, of all people.
26 games without a goal. 14 games without a goal, but 26 assists during that period.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Chris Simon with the Capitals that year, he put up, was it 30? Because he was on a line with Adam Oates, and it's like that dude didn't sniff 5 goals. And the year they put him with Oates, he all of a sudden can put the puck in the net.
It's like Patrick Maroon in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah. The Chris Simon thing, bank that for a future puck doku.
Yeah. So the Blues are 1-4-1 in their past 6 games after this one. Unfortunately, a loss in overtime, which we'll talk about that OT goal here a little bit. Nick Leddy. I got to say this. And Kurt, you said Nick Leddy's been okay. I disagree. I think Nick Leddy's been awful.
Really? I think he's been okay.
He puck moving, he's fine.
I think skating and puck moving, he's fine. Oh, yeah. I mean,
oh my God. He plays too much to be able to, because he's not a defensive defenseman at all. Give me Torrey Krug defensively over Nick Leddy. He is a fucking pylon defensively, and we keep seeing him on the PK. I don't get that. He doesn't. And listen, again, world-class, ridiculous pass from Connor McDavid to Zach Hyman on the first goal. But Nick Leddy's not doing anything. He's standing there, letting Hyman have that ice right on top of the crease. You got to tie up a stick, get your skate in the lane, whatever you could do. He's not doing anything there.
Yeah, and he was Hyman had position on Leddy. You can't let that happen.
Right.
He's between Leddy and the passer, and Leddy's fucked. He's and that happens. You've got to just hack his stick in two and take a penalty, or whatever. Yeah. I mean, you can't let him get that shot away, or hold him or something. But he didn't either. I didn't like that play by Leddy at all. No, he was out positioned and cost us a goal.
Yeah.
You guys did the Islanders post-game show last week, but I watched the Islanders broadcast for that game. And, obviously Leddy being a former Islander, still pretty beloved, I think, in the Islanders community because he played really good hockey there. But they made a comment about, look at the strides he's moving at. He's still got the feet. This guy looks like he could play forever, at least another 20 years. And my comment out loud was, God, I certainly hope not.
Well, I mean, he's a very moving the puck up the ice, whether it be, passing, skating, carrying it. He's really good at transitioning the puck up the ice. And that's, I guess, where my comments are coming from. Defensively in front of the net, he has coverage issues and gets out muscled, but it's like, and I'm not saying he's a great defenseman. I said he's having an okay year where his puck moving and whatnot has kind of, it's up here and his other responsibilities in the own zone are down here. So in the end, it's like, he's okay.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'll agree with you. Puck moving, getting out of the zone, even offensively, like in the offensive zone, he's fine. I have no problem with him. But you need your defenseman to at least play defense.
No, I agree.
And I feel like he is the worst defenseman on this roster.
No.
Like in terms of defense.
That could be a decent point outside of Tyler Tucker. But on that goal, right? I brought up earlier about how, the Blues, one of the things I thought going into this game was about the Blues not learning lessons from previous games, and the bad turnover at the blue line with the leading to the broadcaster saying bad line change, the McDavid goal, or the second Hyman goal, right? Blues didn't learn a lesson from the previous game. Turn the puck over while making a bad line change. Happened in this game. Zach Hyman, go back to the save of the week. We couldn't decide which one to go with in the Edmonton St. Louis game in St. Louis, right? Because Zach Hyman got left open in front of the net twice, and
on the same shift,
and McDavid found him. And going into this game, that has to be a point of emphasis on the wrong syllable.
I actually,
and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. Right? Letty should have known that pass was coming, and he let Hyman get inside, and Hyman didn't fucking make a mistake. He didn't, it was a little bit of a broken play, but he immediately pounced on that and put it upstairs on the blocker, which is what he didn't do in the previous game. He learned a lesson the Blues did not. And I thought that I will agree with you here. Nick Letty was terrible on that play. You knew that was coming.
Yep, agree. You mentioned the turnover. We talked about the Kapanen one the game prior. This one really actually ticked me off more than Kapanen because, one, this is a player who has had a great year. But that second goal that Hyman scored was beginning of the second period. Blues had a couple lapses, getting the puck deep, and players going for line changes on defense. Right away, I think it was within the first minute, the Oilers had a real good break-in chance that Binnington stopped. But then the second goal was just because, again, the Blues just not getting the puck deep. But again, the player that caused it is what pisses me off more. It was Colton Parayko. It was because Parayko, he took the puck right at his blue line, and he flipped it up into the air, and was basically trying not to ice it. And, lofted it into the Oilers zone. Fine play, get it a little bit in there. Hope your forwards go in, forecheck, create a play. He does that, instantly beelines to the bench. I'm sorry, you can't do that. You just can't do that because you put it right on the tape of the Oilers defenseman. So he lofts it into the zone, skates to the bench, and then the puck comes right back to where Parayko was. And he is already going to the bench. It leaves Falk and Krug out left to dry as they're trying to come on and make up for his terrible mistake. Well, and again,
there has to be
puck management.
There has to be blame on Robert Thomas here too, because he was brain dead on this play. And as soon as he saw Parayko hoist the puck, he skated to the net. He didn't wait to see where it went. That was a terrible line change.
I'm going to disagree with you, Jeff, on the problem with this play.
What a shock.
The problem with this play was, in fact, not Parayko. Parayko did nothing wrong here. And hear me out. Neighbors was offside. If Neighbors stays onside, this pass, the flip pass was fine. Neighbors goes in ahead of the zone offside. Referee goes, linesman goes up offside. So him and I think it was Bushnevich had to curl back out of the zone. If they were onside, they would have had a play on the puck and they're battling for the puck. That defenseman does not have all the time in the world to corral and make that pass up the ice. I don't think Parayko expects those players to go offside. If they stay onside, that play never happens. Because they're then battling for that puck. And I even slowed it down and watched it. I'm like, yeah, if he's onside, he may even get to the puck first. It was just a bad decision, bad puck awareness by Neighbors to be into the zone ahead of the puck. He had to curl back, couldn't play in the puck. Defense grabs it.
I'm not going to hard disagree with you on this. I see your point 100%. You're right. The only thing I'll say is, as a defenseman, when you loft it into the zone and you see that it's going to go straight to an Oilers stick.
It wasn't, though.
But it did.
No, only because Neighbors peeled off because he was offside. If he wasn't offside, he gets the puck first, probably.
But what I'm saying is, you don't just loft it into the zone and beeline to the bench. You loft it into the zone, make sure things are going to work out.
Yep.
You give it a split second, and then go to the bench. To me, it was flip, go. And it was, no, you flip, make sure things are, the Blues are at least going to contest for the puck, then go to the bench.
I understand.
I think there was no decision making there by Parayko at all. It was, I'm going to flip it and go.
I understand what you're saying, but I think the vast majority of the blame goes to Neighbors, just because Parayko did his job on this play. And should he have waited an extra 2 seconds to see how the play pans? Sure. He could have, should have, maybe. But I think this is on Neighbors. If Neighbors just stays on side, and knows where the puck is.
My point is, as you loft into the zone, and I'm even fine if loft it, go. I'm fine with that. But what I'm saying is, watch the play. The minute that you notice that there's not going to be a Blues player contesting for the puck, you stop and you go back.
There was, though.
And he didn't. He wasn't watching. He went straight to the
I know,
bench.
but that's what I'm saying. But there was a player contesting for the puck. I mean, that's if you just go back and look at it and just see where Neighbors is and this play, and let's say he is onside. Just take a look at it and
I did.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, by the time the puck is on the stick of the Oiler, we are seeing the play turn the other way instantly because it was offside. The Blues players had to curl back. At that point, Parayko should still be halfway to the bench. He was already at the bench at that point. To me, you're not sprinting to the bench at that point. You're waiting to see if there's a contestant for the puck. And if there isn't, then
that's also,
you say, okay, I'm going to wait halfway and make sure the play's not turning right back around.
I see where you're coming from. I just think I mean, I'm not saying Parayko's not partial to blame. I think Neighbors is, if you're going to assign like a traffic accident, percentage of blame, I'd say Neighbors is like 70% for this, as opposed to Parayko, 30.
I'd say 60-40.
Okay.
For me, it's Parayko Neighbors.
Okay, I'm
70-30.
I'm the opposite end of the seesaw. So
we're close, though.
Yeah,
we're close.
You're almost. You were this close to being right this show. You get there.
Oh God, here it is. Here it is. I was waiting for it.
Another beauty of a goal in the LA Vancouver game.
Oh, I turned that one
off. Great passing play. Quinn Byfield.
How many times do you see that goal though? That pass that comes from the left, a righty receives it on the right side and cuts across to the left, and the goalie's like doesn't know where it's going to go.
Backhand.
Yeah, and the backhand just slides in. I feel so bad for goalies in those plays.
Yeah,
you're left to hang out and dry on that. You just have to hope the puck hits you.
Yeah, you just sprawl out, right? Yeah. Oh,
yep.
Some amazing passing by.
And he got a piece of it, right? It looked like he got hit the skate blade. He got a piece of it for Demko.
Yeah,
I almost called him Themko. Good old Datcher Themko.
Justin Scott says Parayko had a few turnovers, but if you watch some of the plays on the boards, he didn't have any support from his forwards to help get the puck out. I guess from my perspective, during this discussion that Jeff and I had, support from the forward staying on side was my take on it. So
yeah, that's true. And again, you're right on that. Is that Neighbors has to stay on side.
Yeah, and that's that's why the defenseman had time to corral without any pressure and then throw the puck back up the ice when the defense went for a change. So there was a comedy of errors there. That allowed
for a minute
there.
I thought it sounded like you were getting ready to say piss
bucket. Yeah, the little piss bucket play of the ice. Yeah, Operation Piss Bucket.
I'm proud of you, Kurt. You said comedy of errors instead of monkeys fucking a football.
Monkeys fucking a football. Yeah. Well, because I mean, I think monkeys fucking a football to me is like equal blame for everybody. I guess.
Yeah,
to me, it's
true.
it's one's more than the other.
So good news from this game. Thomas has 16 points in his past 10 games. That includes that Detroit game when he got benched. So Thomas, 16 points, 3 goals, 13 assists in his past 10 games. That's, I mean, again, goes to show where this team would be without that top first line or that top line, specifically Thomas, slightly Buchnevich, slightly Kyrou, them being able to produce when they do, because they have been great when you need them.
Yeah, I think Justin said in the chat earlier that Thomas and Parayko are getting overtaxed for being the only consistent guys for the most part of the season, and I can't agree more with that. I think we've seen more mistakes, more lackluster effort from Thomas than we have Parayko over the last few games. But hopefully this you get a nice 2-day break before the next game, and people can reset and recenter. But Thomas and Parayko have been, and Neighbors, I think, have been the leaders of this team for most of the season. Without them, we're totally screwed.
Do you know what has been a little interesting to me to watch Thomas? I have not seen the eye-popping assists from him lately. It's mostly been, he makes nice plays. Don't get me wrong. Very nice plays. But man, it seemed like last season he would make the eye-popping pass, like through 4 people, through the slot, back door. Yeah, I haven't seen those kinds of plays for him as much this season. And I'm not sure why exactly. He's putting up a ton of points, and he's been fantastic.
You think part of it might be the fact that he is the elite center on this team 100% now, and he's getting top defenses against him every night?
Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
I think that goes into it, and he's also, like we saw with his power play goal in the first period in this game. Right? He's drawing people to him and knows when to shoot the puck. He's learning more when to shoot the puck rather than pass it.
Well, this Canucks game has gotten boring. Well, not boring, but it's a blowout. 5-1 now.
It's going off the rails.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel bad for Thatcher Demko. He's getting left to hang out and dry.
I mean, LA looks really good, but it's like, I want to see a close game.
I mean, that last goal, the pass, like, you got a guy breaking in between 2 defensemen, and the Kings guy just threw it. I forget who made the pass, but threw it, and like, I know the Canucks aren't going to stop this pass, and it goes through the legs of the Canucks defenseman off his skate right to Moore, who comes in with a backhand goal with Demko backing up a little too quickly there.
Yep. So my last point on this game, and you guys are welcome to add any more. Overtime goal. For me, and I'll admit I didn't see it. So for me, I watched 90% of this game live. I had to watch the rest this morning on replay because I had a hockey game last night myself. So I did not see the overtime goal until I got home. I didn't see the negativity around this by Blues fans originally until, actually, I think it was Kurt, you said something in the chat maybe about it. To me, when I saw this play, I'll just tell you my thoughts. When I saw this play, the overtime goal, and then actually there was a play right before it where Connor McDavid had a real good chance where he stopped right in the slot, just kept stick handling, and then had a shot. And to me, this was Connor McDavid being Connor McDavid. Like that is my analysis of this goal. This was McDavid getting the puck on a rush in the neutral zone, which is where I think he plays his best hockey, when he is just skating the puck up from the neutral zone. He beats basically all 3 Blues, comes in from the wing, gets a shot on Binnington. I think maybe, I'll say I understand some people saying maybe that's a save Binnington should have, but that is a world-class shot. And Binnington got a huge chunk of it, but it still found a way to the back of the net. Right away we saw Binnington's head just go up to the ceiling.
If Binnington gets nothing on it, it goes wide.
Really? You think so?
Yeah,
totally. So that's probably why he reacted the way he did.
His jersey catching that slowed it down and spun it into the net.
Here's my thing with that whole sequence is that it kind of reminded me of what's his name for Colorado blowing by Kyrou in the playoffs in center. McKinnon. I thought Thomas played McDavid lazy in the neutral zone when he was skating by. Thomas just gave a couple strides and gave a little wave at him with the stick. That was when I saw that, I'm like, whoa, he's just letting him go. And then Kyrou takes him as he comes into the zone. And as soon as he engages with Kyrou stops skating and just kind of glides and then just kind of waves a stick at him and reaches out. And I'm like, and then McDavid kind of just goes past Kyrou, gets the shot on goal, and then it goes off Binnington and in. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? I was like, are we not going to like play hard against the best player in the world? I thought, I didn't understand what just happened. I mean, Thomas especially, I'm like, what? Give an effort. I thought the effort by Thomas was lackluster.
Yeah,
and
see, I'm not the only one, Justin. I'm not the only one.
On that play, it was lackluster. Very much so. Like almost no effort. And then Kyrou gave a little more effort. But again, it's like, get stick on puck. What are we doing? Are you just letting the guy get a shot? I mean, he's the best player in the world. Like, to me, just get a stick on puck, something. Disrupt him.
Yeah,
I didn't know the only credit that I'll give these two players is I think you're overthinking when Connor McDavid's skating in on you, and you are trying your best to just anticipate what he's going to do, and it just leaves you in this fucking basically like an out of body of experience where you're just watching and you're like, what do I even do here?
I get it.
Like, I don't even understand what I'm supposed to do. What do I do with my hands?
I get it.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
But that still doesn't excuse the fact that he did it. I mean, they gave him a lane, and I didn't like.
You're right.
So I think part of it is McDavid recognizing that he's got two guys that have been out there for an extended shift, and he took them to the wrong side. Right. He took them to where they could not optimally break up the play. And he took advantage of that. And Binnington overcommitted to the near side post and tried to cut that off way too much. Slid out of position, a little bit of the Jakes there. But world-class shot.
And I think too that, and I think was Binnington, they asked him about it, did they not? I think. Or maybe I'm reading an analysis of somebody else. But Connor McDavid is coming in and he's going wide, and so Binnington thinks, well, his only options are a 5-hole or
short side,
top shelf, short side.
No,
he does cheat that way, and it makes sense, right? But it does hit his jersey and then go in. And Bill said it probably goes wide if it doesn't hit his jersey, so that may have been the case. But either way, it was that area was exposed a little bit. So, and maybe he felt like he had to cheat. And again, that may be the Connor McDavid effect, right? You got to cheat, you got to anticipate, you got to do this, you got to do that you wouldn't normally do against other players because he's so good.
And he just beat my two best offensive players.
Yeah, well, yeah, but with your two best offensive players not giving a solid effort there to stop him either. So I didn't like those issues for the same reason Kyrou didn't skate against I forgot his name again. What the fuck?
McKinnon.
God damn it. McKinnon. The same kind of thing there. So
Macklemore.
I don't know why I can't remember McKinnon's name. Motherfucker. Nathan McKinnon. Jesus Christ.
The guy who eats kale.
I can't stand the guy. I can't remember his goddamn name.
It's so funny because I respect his talent, but he's a person that I know I would just hate if I knew him.
Me too.
And I don't feel that way about most hockey players. Like, that's one that I'm like, I would fucking hate talking to this guy. So again, in this game, shots were 35-34 Edmonton. Very, very close game in every way of the game. Just, again, like you said, or like maybe I said, I don't know. One of us said it, the Connor McDavid effect. Just a great game in overtime. McDavid making excellent play after excellent play. Hyman putting pucks in the net. Otherwise, I think the Blues walk away with this one. The Thomas shot at the beginning of the game was beautiful to start the scoring, but the Blues just could not hold on to this one. But like you said, I think this isn't 3 of those Detroit losses in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a bad Detroit loss followed by a good game but a loss in Winnipeg, and then a good game but an overtime loss in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will see a bounce back from the Blues Saturday versus Minnesota. We'll see, but I do think that this is not a, oh my God, we're doomed. This is awful. They're not going to make the playoffs. I think this was just luck of the draw. 2 good, well-played games that the Blues just could not win against Winnipeg and Edmonton.
Yeah. Makes the Detroit game all the worse because that was the game you needed points from, and we didn't even show up.
Who was it? Was it neighbor Bolduc that got robbed by Skinner? That amazing save, the blocker save, across the crease, flat out dive, split.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was Neighbors.
Was it Neighbors?
I think it was.
I think it was Bolduc.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Either
I'm gonna agree with
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That
Bill and I are so close to being right.
That was a game saving save. It was late.
No,
it was late.
No,
it was third period.
Go back.
Amazing
to
save.
Right. Go back to the Nashville game, which I thought was a poor game for the Blues, but the goaltending on the other side has been better. Brossoit was better than Binnington. Brossoit was better than Hofer, and Skinner was marginally better than Binnington.
Yeah, agree.
I guess so. I mean, Skinner won.
Had a great game.
Binnington had some tougher saves to make.
That third goal was tough for him. To give up.
The worst goal of those last 2 games was the Connor goal against Hofer.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
100%.
Not a question.
100%. That one cannot. I don't care who it is shooting that puck. That cannot go in.
that can't go in on beer league. That's got to be stopped.
No.
So
power plays in this Edmonton game. Blues 1 for 3. Edmonton 1 for 2. Go ahead, Bill.
I was going to segment. You know what wasn't a bad goal was the save of the week.
Yeah,
save of the week.
Yep. And Bill, take her away, sir.
All right, let me go. Let me maximize the screen, boys. Here we go. All right,
for maximum content.
Maximum content. Look at that beauty of a bucket on Rick Wamsley. So the save of the week. Jesus, I'm taking myself.
We're off to a great start.
Taking myself out of my own segment. Save of the week comes from the Winnipeg game. Second period, Winnipeg up 3-1, and the save is on Nino Niederreiter. Easy for me to say.
One of the best names in hockey.
Yes. I saw an analysis article on what the Jets need this week, and the conclusion was they need another Nino Niederreiter, but you already have him. Why do you need another? I don't know. Nikolai Ehlers, great seam pass over to Morrissey. Or no, that's not Morrissey. Who is that? That's Perfetti. Perfetti finds Niederreiter alone in front. This is a great dissection by the Jets, just picking the Blues defense apart. You know, Scandella and Falk out there, and Ehlers finds the seam pass across to Perfetti, and Niederreiter pushes off Scandella, allowing himself to be open in front. What I want to focus on for Joel Hofer on the save is just the fluidity and the compact motion. Right. He doesn't overslide. He covers what he needs to cover. He anticipates the pass coming back across because he sees his defenseman committing, and he gets down, cuts off the lower side, makes an amazing save. It wasn't as highlight reel, I would say, as the glove save that he had later in this game.
Good play again there, Bill.
You want me to go through it one more time?
Well, I mean, you can right. take the whole video time, but I think it would just be nice as you're talking to see what you're talking about.
I had a question about this, Bill, and I've kind of wondered this too. Is like, Is it a conscious thing for a goalie when they go from post to post? Like here, he slides from post to post and hits the post. Like he stays inside the post.
Yes.
Or if they're outside the post where they slide past it. Now, is it on purpose to go from post to post like that, or is it, or what's preferable?
For me, it was always wanting to stay within the post, right?
Okay.
Using that touch, knowing when your skate has contacted the post, right? That's where we want to stop your motion, because otherwise you're going to go Jake Allen and slide into the corner.
I guess it depends where the puck, you anticipate the puck being. If it's going to be up high, you might want to go past the post because you're going to, right? If it's going to be low, you obviously want to stay inside the post.
Right. And he's that's correct. He's reading this play the whole way. What I love about Hofer on this is he's got eyes on it the whole way. He knows what's happening. He knows, right, that Ehlers has found that cross corner pass, but Perfetti's not going to shoot. He knew that pass was coming across, and he got over and cut down where he expected the shot was going to come, and he read it perfectly, and was compact, stayed within the goal frame, and cut off every possible spot. Unless Niederreiter's able to go roof right here,
that's tough though.
It's impossible.
That's super tough.
Right. It's a fairly routine save, but just perfection. Oh. Come on,
what
Jeff.
is that about?
This is not the Jeff Ponder show.
It should be.
But just such great form, right? It just it was the right save for that play. Nothing too flashy, but read the play perfectly and executed.
So what I loved about this play from Hofer's perspective, you mentioned that he knew that pass was coming from Perfetti, but he didn't cheat. Like you know the pass is coming, but you still can't cheat, because if you cheat, Perfetti's going to look up and be like, "Oh fuck, I got short side all over," and he's going to just take the shot. You know he's not thinking shot, but you still can't cheat because you don't want to give him that space. So he still is playing Perfetti like he's going to shoot, but he knows in his mind, I've got to get over in time to stop this play when he passes it. So just perfect timing, perfect read from Hofer for me on that.
That cross-ice pass down low was fantastic. I mean,
both passes.
Both passes fantastic, but that first, the first one set it up to where the defenseman had to then try and defend the pass, and then the Winnipeg Jets player backs off, and then the great second pass. It's like, man, that was a great play from Winnipeg, and then a great save. That was beautiful hockey. That was a great setup, great save.
Right.
Yeah.
In the context of the larger game, right? This keeps the game at 3-1. Right after this, the Blues went down and had a great chance, and Laurent Brossoit made a beautiful save to keep it. But we cut it. We cut it to 3-2, and it was a very important save in the larger context of the game. We just couldn't get back to even.
Oh, if that's a 4-1 game, he scores on that. It's a Blues don't have a chance at that point.
Right.
At that point in the game, it's over.
Right.
At that point, you might as well turn the TV off. It's done. And I'll say, man, as a skater, as a forward / defenseman, when I play, I think Bill, you said dissected. That's a perfect word. Dissection of the Blues defense. I mean, they picked them apart on that play. And again, as a hockey fan, I see that and I'm like, that's fucking beautiful. That's what you want to see out of your team. So next up for the Blues, Saturday versus Minnesota. This is a evening game, I guess, 5:00. So we don't call it an afternoon game. It is an evening game, but it is at 5:00. So I love that, because we're going to have Blues at 5, and then at 7:30 you've got City, right?
Yeah. So Blues at 5, then get your butt over to Sports and Social for the VIP party, right? And you can watch the City game there, I think.
Or just get to Sports and Social early, hang out at the bar, watch the game, and then join the party when it starts at 8.
Yep. Tell them you're with the Kurt Price VIP party and get your bracelet and get your discounts. Sports and Social, Ballpark Village.
So Monday they play the Philadelphia Flyers and in Philadelphia at 6 o'clock.
Hopefully
Tuesday,
the lights will.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Did you see that, Kurt?
No.
They had a power outage there in Philadelphia.
Did they? Tonight? I didn't see that.
It was last night. It was
last night.
Yeah. They had a transformer burned down during the game.
Did they continue the game or no?
They did. They paused it. They continued it. But yeah, certain corporate sponsors probably gonna want to walk away from that building before too long.
At least they didn't.
If I had to guess.
Yeah. Yep. So Tuesday, again, back-to-back games there. So Monday they play in Philadelphia. Tuesday they are at the New York Islanders at 6:30. This is all part of the East Coast swing that they will be doing the one time this season. They'll also play after that because we'll probably have a show on Wednesday. So from Thursday to Monday, they will also play New Jersey, the New York Rangers, and the Boston Bruins. Excuse me. Closing up the show here, we will talk about the NHL trade deadline coming up. It is Friday, March 8th at 2 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time. The past couple years, I've done something, either whether on Discord or an actual live show on that day. I am unsure if that's going to happen this year. I hope it will, because I usually take that day off. But got a lot of stuff going on at work. Friday, March 8th. It's at 2 o'clock.
I will probably be on the Discord. So
yeah, I might just take a half day. So work till about 11, and then and then that way I can be available on Discord, and maybe we'll do a show. Last year, Austin and I did after the deadline passed, we did a show and just kind of talked about the couple trades that happened. Maybe we'll do something like that. We'll see. We're undecided. It really it honestly just depends if the Blues do anything. If they're silent, I don't think we'll do much of anything. But like Kurt said, I'll have my Discord open. We're at is it discord.com/let's-go-blues.com/discord.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
And if you've never been on Discord, it's a great program where you can just join, and we'll just kind of how the three of us do this show. We'll just be on there, and if you want to come on and talk Blues hockey with us, you want to talk trade deadline, whatever, we're open. We'll just be talking. So I think at the very least, that is something at least a couple of us will be doing.
Unlike other Discord programs, we will not be divulging national security secrets, though.
True. That is true. That's another word I cannot say correctly. Discord. I say Discord.
Discord. Right. I say Discord.
It's Discord. Right?
Discord. Right. What? Discord.
I say
Discord. I don't know. Yeah. What the fuck?
I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
I put the right emphasis on the right syllable.
That is why I will.
Used it now.
There's a word. There's a word, and I think I've said it on the show that I cannot say properly. We all know Traverse City is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is internship. I cannot say that correctly. I cannot say it correctly.
That's like burying a dead person.
Internship. Intern. Yeah, like you're at a hospital.
Yep.
An intern.
Internship. I have to literally say it as slow as I did in order to say it correctly. Internship.
So do you guys are you guys on the trade Buchnevich vote?
No.
Me either. And if a team was interested seriously and the Blues were interested in trading him, I think he would bring quite the return. However, I don't think the Blues are really that interested in trading him unless they get blown away with an offer, which, obviously, I think we've always talked about. If you're blown away with an offer, yeah, you'd trade anybody, right? I mean, if you get a massive return and you get why wouldn't you? But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they would get a good return. But realistically, would they get a ton? I don't know. But I think the Blues want to hold on. They don't have to trade him. They've got all next season with him if they want. They could trade him in the offseason. They can trade him next deadline. Ideally, this is what I want, and what I hope happens. I want to see them actually resign him this offseason if they can. Rework, move some money around, maybe. Maybe see if Krug wants to go to a contender at the trade deadline. If the Blues are out of it. If they're out of the playoffs come the trade deadline, which right now they're 5 points out with a game in hand on Nashville. So and Nashville rolls off 6 in a row, which the most important game of the season, which I was talking about when the Blues were playing Nashville. Yeah, Nashville's gone 6-0 since then, and then the Blues have only won once. So, and then flip-flop in the standings, basically.
Right, but that hasn't cooled the talk of UC Saros being traded.
I know, which is, and they're thinking long-term, which the Blues should be too. So that's it. It's just different mindsets. The Blues traded Shattenkirk when they were like right on the bubble too. So, or I'm sorry, Stasny. So
yeah, kind of both.
Both. So, but anyway, I don't think they'll trade Buchnevich, especially if they're like right on the playoff bubble. They want to make the playoffs.
Right. ESPN published the top 50 players on the trade, potential trade candidates, and Buchnevich, I think it was 3 or 4. Other Blues that made the list were Kasperi Kapanen and Kevin Hayes.
I would love to see Hayes go.
Yeah, I would say that if you get anything, like if you get a 5th round pick for Kapanen to it, you've
anything for Kapanen.
He was a stopgap measure. He's not going to be important to this team next year. You expect Jimmy Snuggerud to take that spot. Yeah. Get rid of
I personally like, and just thinking of like what's plausible, not what what I would love is a lot different from what I think could and would be good for the Blues to happen. What I think I'm hoping for is a trade of Scandella. And again, not because he's been bad. I actually have no problem with Scandella.
He's got value now.
He'd be a good rental player for a team with depth defense.
So I think if you can move Scandella, just get a draft pick or something out of it, even maybe a defensive prospect in some way.
Because you're not going to resign him, I don't think, right?
No, you're not.
I wouldn't think so.
They better not.
Unless he comes back for cheap for 2 years, and move him down to the third pairing, and that's what I'm saying.
I don't want him back. Yeah,
I would take him back, a 2-year deal for $2 million a year, and as long as you make other moves. So now he's a third pairing defenseman. That's where I'm at with that. I don't want him.
He's already a third pairing defenseman.
I don't want him.
I don't think it's. I think you've got other.
It depends.
You need to start finding holes in this defense so you can start filling it with young talent.
To me, I agree with you, but it depends on what else we have to use on defense. If we acquire somebody or if we have other plans for whoever, if we don't do anything on defense, I think it would make sense to bring him back cheap. That's a last case, resort
for me. It would have to be league minimum contract. That is the only thing
he wouldn't pay for that. I don't think he probably.
I know, and that's
I'm
what
thinking $1.5 million. He makes. That's what I said $1.5 million, $2 million. That's where the ballpark I was at.
Yeah, I'm all for just getting rid of them, get a draft pick, and I think if you can move Kapanen, I'm all for it. I have fallen out of favor with Kapanen, and it's so funny. And Vrana too. We saw what Vrana did last year, right? Like he came into the Blues and he was a fucking world beater. Maybe there's another team like, hey, let's take on Vrana and get a chance. Maybe he'll find lightning in a bottle again.
Vrana could have been had for nothing though. So
but some teams can't just take on that salary. So they'd want to make a trade.
And it is less trade and also it's less of a salary at the deadline too. Yeah, because it's prorated.
True.
So there's that.
Yeah. So
I want to see Hayes. I'd like to see Hayes go.
Well, for me, like what is plausible and what could happen: Scandella, Kapanen, move on from him, get something for him. Now, what I would love if we could move one of those defensive contracts that seem to be unmovable, I would still be happy to trade Krug, Falk, or Leddy if we can. But again, that's not typically a trade deadline move. I think that's something you look for more in the summer.
Yeah, And with Krug, there was some speculation, probably just amongst fans, and we've talked about this, that come trade deadline, if the Blues aren't in it, and a team who is a cup contender, legit cup contender, came knocking saying, "Hey, what do you want for Torrey Krug? Or will Torrey Krug waive his no trade clause to come here? And would you be willing to move him for whatever?" That's something we talked about, and that's a scenario that could happen as far as the Blues being out of the playoff race is concerned at the deadline, or they're just being sellers. And maybe a team would want him because Krug's had a better year. I mean, he has some value now. I don't know if it's 6.5, but he has value, and the Blues would not. I can't imagine them retaining salary on him for that long, especially. So it'd have to be. They probably wouldn't get a whole lot for him at all because it's almost like a salary dump, player dump. So don't expect much in return for Krug. If he does waive his no trade clause, and we do move him. I would be fine with moving either Krug or Falk, to be honest.
I would too. Krug, Falk, Letty. You can move out from under any of them. I'm fine.
Hayes. I want Hayes. I like the Hayes.
I love
Hayes
that, but I just don't see there being a deal in place at a trade deadline for him.
Yeah, he makes $3.5 million for the next after the season. It's 2 more years, and I'm so frustrated with the way Hayes just is constant. It's just he's slow as shit, and he just can't handle the puck. He's a terrible puck handler. Now he makes a nice pass when he makes a pass, but he's just like actually moving around in the zone with the puck. He's god awful.
Yeah,
you put a guy on him, he's so bad.
He's Kyrou bad.
It's just he's really yes, exactly. Yeah. He can't deal with it, and it's just or if he does come out of it with the puck, it looks like a monkey fucking a football.
Oh, there it is. We got it, Bill. We got it out of him.
So show complete.
Yeah, and I'm just and earlier in the season he was putting pucks in the net a little bit, and he was getting some points, and that was great. But man, it's just he's just not a fluid guy to have in your offensive scheme. It's just you can't rely on him to receive a pass, curl around, beat a guy and make a pass. He doesn't do that.
Positive with him is I think he's good at face-offs, which is great. Blues are a great
good at face-offs
team.
Put him in front of the net on the power play.
And he's good on the PK. I like him on the PK too. But
he can be good on the power play if you put him in the dirty areas in front. That he's a big guy.
Yeah.
So
he reminds me of Mike Eastwood. I feel like that's what he is on this team.
I think he's a more talented. Well, he's a more talented Mike Eastwood.
Maybe a little bit more talent.
Mike Eastwood, to me, had zero value outside of faceoffs. Absolutely none. At least Hayes is a semi.
Eastwood was a good scorer.
He needs to add 3 inches in all directions to his blade, though, to get the Eastwood comparison correct.
That's true. Right. He's got to have basically a hammer on his blade,
right?
A mallet.
The Draisaitl blade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I from the the trade perspective, I would love to see them unload Kapanen. I think I want to see Bolduc get some opportunity on the power play. Sundqvist,
especially later in the season, right?
Right. Sundqvist worked for a while. It's not working anymore. I'd like to see Bolduc try to take that spot in front of the net.
I have a question about Sundqvist. He's a free agent, a UFA after the season. Do you want him back? Fourth line?
If he signs for the same money, I'm in.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like him on the fourth line for about the same money. Yeah.
And honestly, I'd even be okay with giving him a little bit of a pay bump because I feel like he did take a huge cut just to come here. I'd be fine with
like him $1 million. He makes $775 right now.
Yeah, I'd say I'm fine with him at 1.75. That sounds fine.
1.7. I was thinking $1 million total. Like 1.5. Maybe.
Yeah.
Tops.
I was thinking 1.5 tops because I thought he was making $1 million.
All the urban chestnut he can handle.
Yes,
he signs it.
Just pay him in city tickets and urban chestnut.
Now Blay makes $1 million. Do you want him back on the fourth
line? He has done. No,
you know what? I bet you could sign Blay for the league minimum.
You could
on the fourth line.
You could.
As a fourth forward who would allow to be cool with possibly getting moved down to the AHL. Yeah, I'm fine with that too. But outside of that, don't sign him even for $1 million. That's
I like Blay on the fourth line.
You've got some roster spots that guys that could step up and take his role.
Who on the fourth line? Who?
Younger guys that could step up.
Play the kids. Play the kids.
Well, no, like Keen Washkaruk is a guy who's playing really good hockey down in the AHL. You could move him up. And then of course you got guys that, and kind of my point with moving Kapanen, we mentioned Bolduc. He's already kind of seeing some time. Let's see Zachary Dean. Let's see Dean get some time up here. See what he can do.
Yeah, but he's not going to play fourth line though.
And if Minnesota gets bounced, Snuggerud.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's the storyline I'm going to be most interested in, I think.
Again, though, they're not going to be put on the fourth line, really.
No.
So I mean that I'm strictly coming from, if we resign Blay, fourth line guy, Sundqvist, fourth line guy.
Mm-hmm.
So Toropchenko, fourth line guy. I like that fourth line.
Yeah, but would you rather have Walker or Blay as the fourth line guy?
Oh, give me Walker.
Interchangeable.
I'd take Walker.
I'd take Walker.
To me, Blake.
Blaze a bigger guy. Hits offensively. Yeah.
No, I'm not even talking about offensively. I think overall
he's a bigger guy. He hits.
He's not hitting as much.
He doesn't
as
hit enough.
In the past. Yeah. Thank you, Bill. 100%.
Let me see. Let me pull up the things here.
We don't need stats. We know the eye test here.
No, he leads the team in hits.
Yeah, but
152.
That's fine. But I'm saying I don't think
in 44 games played.
Oh my God, Kurt,
he's missed games.
What we're saying,
there's
still times where it's like he could be going in with a monster hit and starting the forecheck, and he doesn't do it.
Just saying.
I don't care what the
fourth line guy. No, I'm just saying as a fourth line guy, I would like him. I think he's a good option on the fourth line. Obviously, I'm up for improvements in the offseason. That's absolutely.
Yeah.
But if something else, okay, well, let's go after this guy or that guy, or maybe we'll bring this guy. If Blay seems like a return for like the league minimum, I'd absolutely do that.
Yeah. Now I'd
like to have Walker and Blay and put one in the box.
Oh, I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, that works. As your 12th and 13th forwards, hell yeah, I'm
sure.
That.
Yeah. That's kind of.
I just prefer Walker.
I love Walker. I think Walker serves a nice little role in this team. Not every single game, but I think you plug him in. I don't know, 50, 60 games. I think he'd be good.
So talking in the chat about Toropchenko, he has solidified his role on the third line with this team.
I'm a big fan.
He shouldn't go anywhere for a while. He is who we wanted Blay to be.
Yeah, I think I mentioned on the show a couple weeks ago that I ordered my Jake Neighbors jersey, which is still not here, of course. Because for whatever reason, it takes fucking 6 months for a jersey to arrive somewhere after you order on NHL.com.
Corporations, it's 2024. Stop saying supply chain issues. Fuck you. I'm sick of hearing it.
Exactly. So for me, it was between three players, and it was Neighbors, who I got, Sundqvist. And the only reason I didn't go with Sundqvist is because I'm unsure of his future here. And honestly, Toropchenko. Because I love his game. He's so much fun to watch, and he's one of those guys you notice, kind of like Walker too. You notice when they're on the ice, and
Sammy
I like
Blay,
that in a player.
There are games you have to ask: is he even in this lineup tonight?
Yeah, I agree with you. He has taken a step back in all aspects from last season, especially with the Blues. What about Alexandrov? He's a RFA, so. This offseason.
Yeah, he had an okay game against Edmonton.
Yeah. I mean, right. to me he's kind of like a dime a dozen guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really impressed with him the first time he was up here, and I thought, ooh, this guy might be the Sundqvist of the future. But I have not seen that in at least
wasn't
a year.
He Yaskin's best friend? Wasn't that his?
Was he really?
Tie-in?
I don't.
He's only 23. He's only 23. So I mean,
was it a Barbashev?
I can't.
Was it Barbashev? That was yes.
I can't see Alex. He's 23 years old. I can totally see the Blues. They're gonna qualify him, right? So and at least he'll be playing in Springfield.
Dmitry Esk and Ivan Barbashev formed a close bond during their season of junior hockey in Moncton. So, yeah, that's who it was.
There it was. Okay.
Yeah, because he was there when Barbashev got drafted, I believe. I was at that draft. I don't remember. I drink a lot. Anyway. All right. Well, again, so Friday, March 8th is the trade deadline. So a week from tomorrow, if you're listening to this right now. Otherwise, a week from
real quick.
Friday.
There has been Binnington. You've seen people wanting to trade Binnington?
Mm-hmm.
That's
people are idiots.
Isn't that ridiculous,
dude? I kid you not. And I'm sure you saw it too. In 2019, the year they won the cup, there were people at the trade deadline saying, "Trade this guy. His value will never be higher." And it's what?
I will never understand. And there's always people every single goddamn year. There are a chunk of people out there, the vocal minority on social media, that anything of value this team may have, they want traded. It's like, get something for him. Get something for him. I'm like, if it were up to them, this team would be in a perpetual, never-ending state of rebuilding.
Yep.
They would just trade all the guys that have a lot of value for picks and prospects every time. And then you get a guy who comes up, he's worth a lot. Oh, we can't sign him in 2 years. Get rid of him. I'm like, do you ever want to have good players here for the long term? I mean, come on.
And that's why I've seen people say this about Buchnevich, is because it's like, well, you're not going to sign him in 2 years. That's fucking 2 years. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
And
the Blues.
And again,
it's very unlikely. Blues could go out and get Connor McDavid. And then you think Buchnevich then is going to want to leave? No.
Well, I mean, I've always hated that, you can't sign him in 2 years. But, well, you know what? You could have all kinds of things happen in 2 years. You could have a guy demand a trade who's a high-value guy, and he leaves. Then you can afford him. You can have other trades. You can have a guy get hurt. You can have LTIR stuff. You could have or the guy could fizzle, have a bad year. You could resign him for less. There's all kinds of stuff that could happen, and it drives me bananas when people want high-value guys off the roster just because they can't sign him in 2 years, or just because we can get stuff for him. I'm like, yeah, you can get stuff for a lot of people. Doesn't mean you should always trade them. And I understand that some people don't think because we're going to be competitive for the cup for a few years. And there's that's a legit thing to talk about. But yeah, with goaltending especially, you get good goaltending, you don't just ditch it. It's hard to get.
Yeah,
I don't. We have it. You don't want to leave. Just get rid of it.
I'm giving comment of the show here to friend Ken Morris. Trade Binnington? No goddamn way. Too bad we couldn't trade away fans.
Yeah, I'm
with you, buddy.
Amen.
It's
Ken.
just it's.
And he's having
it makes you want to pull your.
You want to make comments about us saying in the past that Binnington's had good seasons, and the stats say the stats.
Fuck the stats.
Guess what? His stats this year are pretty goddamn good. So it's not just for where this team is, for him to have the stats he has, right on par, very good. And so for people, they're throwing out the stats argument. How little have you seen that this year? Because he's actually we're getting stats because the defense is better. So for me, it's like Binnington is a big part of this team. You don't move him. Hofer's not ready for the number one spot. And if this team really does want to compete in 2 to 3 years, you don't just trade your starting goaltender.
Yeah, exactly. If let's say this team, we kind of retool a bit, we make some adjustments, and in 2 or 3 years, hey, some people are picking us as a legit cup contender, great. But then we trade away Binnington, and we're relying on, is it Hofer or who is it? It's just like, I mean, it's maybe in 3 years it's Hofer anyway. Maybe in 2 years, 3 years, Binnington starts to fall off a little bit, and we resign Hofer because his last year he's signed through next year. So after next year, maybe we resign him, and then I don't know. Then it's time for Hofer to take over anyway, and then Binnington moves to the backup role. I don't know, but you did talk about putting the cart before the horse as far as that stuff goes. They wanting to move on from people who are worth something just because you can get something for him is the most backwards thing that I can't stand it. It's always happened. It's been going on for decades.
I usually give praise to our live listeners, but fuck you guys. All I'm seeing is about we should trade Ponder. Fuck off. Baked Beaver says I'd trade Ponder wearing that Flame shit. Yeah, I'm wearing a Flames hat. Little known fact about me. I think I said it on the show, so maybe you should fucking open your ears, Baked Beaver. By the way,
I thought you were.
By the way, Baked Beaver, be in town on September 20th. I am part of our 2004 Francis Howell committee for planning our 20-year reunion. And that is apparently the date we are going with. So make sure you're in town for that. But anyway, that's not official yet, so I probably shouldn't have said that. But he's saying, I'd trade Ponder wearing that Flame shit. Little known fact about me, I am trying to collect hats from every team in the NHL. Unfortunately, I already have a Blackhawks hat. That was going to be the last one I was going to get, but I had a friend gift it to me. So right now I think I'm sitting at 14 teams. And this, honestly, is one of my favorite hats I own. It fits well. I think it's cool, the Black Flames logo with the red outline. So, yeah, suck it, Baked Beaver. And then also Justin Scott says we should trade Ponder for not having season tickets. Guy is undefeated at the Blues games. Yeah, I'm going in 2 weeks. I can't remember who they're playing. They played the Islanders here yet?
Yes.
I don't think they have.
Yes, okay. They did. That was last week.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
The show you didn't make.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's why you're getting traded. You don't show up. You miss practice.
That's right. Yeah, I missed practice. Call me TJ Oshie.
You were stopped.
God, okay, sorry. I got to look now. I already bought the tickets. We're going yeah, sorry. I'm being one of those guys. Oh, the 16th, Minnesota Wild. It's a Saturday night.
Ken Morris says Jeff, Bill, and Kurt are the reason this is a great show. I will add to that the listeners, the interaction we have on the show makes it kind of unique, and that's also what helps make this a fun show to do.
Yeah, I've said that before. I think, honestly, Kurt, it was, goddamn, it was our decision years ago. I still remember when we decided to do the first live show. And I remember how nervous I was. Like, oh, my God, we're doing a live podcast? What the fuck?
Yeah.
And, like, I remember even dressing up for it. Like, I fixed my hair and I wore, like, a nice shirt. And now I'm like, look at me right now. I'm wearing a fucking Bauer T-shirt with a Flames hat backwards, whatever. And it's like... I don't think we'd still be doing the show if we didn't do it live, because the fan interaction is one of the things I love the most.
It's funny because when we did the show before we did it live, we do it over Google Hangouts, which was that was a thing, and then we take the audio and we record it. We take the audio and we'd put it out as a podcast. It wasn't live, but I noticed that I was like, oh, we really don't have any downtime. This could be a good live show. We don't really, there's not a lot of pauses or downtime or, oh man, we got that all wrong. We have to go back and change. We got this. That didn't happen. So I was like, yeah, we could do this live. And then we did the trial run. It went pretty good. And then we did it. And then we did some more recorded. And then we went and started doing it live full time. Like a month later or something. That was pretty. I think it's funny. It was a little nerve wracking.
I wish I still had the original recordings of our podcast, because it literally was just like, okay, let's take a break, and we would just kind of sit there in silence, and then it'd be like, all right, you ready? Yeah, let's go. And it's like, why did we do that? We didn't need that. We could have just kept going.
Yeah, I guess it was just like a mental reset kind of a thing.
Right.
I don't know. But we never really, I don't know how other podcasts do it, but we don't really have the like, okay, let's take a 10-minute break.
Yeah, I've guest hosted. Puck Podcasts, a lot of times they have periods. They have their show purposely cut up. And the reason is because their second period is usually some kind of interview or some kind of special thing they'll do. So first period, it's all the hockey talk. Second period's interview. Third period, they do listener emails. So I get why they cut it in the middle, because it's like, it's long. It's a 3-hour show. we're sitting here at 2.5 hours and we've gone live the whole time. But like, you know, and then I've done Blues Hockey Podcast and they do like a lot of talk and then they're like, okay, now we're going to shift to this. And I don't know, but for me, it's like,
let's go have lunch.
Yeah. It's like, for me, I just enjoy just sitting here doing it all at once. And it makes, and you know, Kurt, it makes editing so much fucking easier.
Oh, I mean, yeah, when you can riff and play off of each other and just it's constantly going. There's no downtime or major fuck ups or anything. It's just like it's just so much. And then having it live where people can actually, comment along with the show and interact and stuff. And that's just a cool dynamic. I like it. And I don't think I would do a podcast, a regular podcast where it wasn't live. Doesn't seem as fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've toyed the idea of doing like a monthly podcast, just like an interview or something, and just kind of putting it out there. But like, that's just more for, shits and giggles.
That's a little different.
This show, like, I can't imagine doing a blues podcast not live at this point. Mm-hmm. It's just way more fun.
Well, I mean, especially with sports talk, you have so many. It's like Sports Open Line, the call-in radio shows. It's like you got people who listen; they have opinions too, so they want to just kind of give their 2 cents, and it's great to have that interaction.
Yep. Boys, I think that'll do it. Let's
wrap it up.
This is the episode. Yeah, we're going long here. Hard up against the end here. Bill, you've been quiet for a while. Hope you enjoyed the show.
It's been a great show. I don't evangelize much, but I will agree with you fellas about doing this live keeps it interesting. There's no other way to do it.
Yeah.
If we were trying to can some shit, it wouldn't come off well.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and you remember, Kurt, when we first started, it was like there was times where you, me, or Jeff would say, let me say that again, just a second. And then we would restart it. And it's like, why the fuck would we do that? Like, let's just keep going. It's fine.
Yeah.
Miss talk. Yeah. It happens all the time.
Yeah. That was early on, though. That was our first season. Like, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. Yeah. We just wanted to talk hockey.
Right. Yep. Well, look at us now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if we don't have anything else to add, we'll close her up. Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com, and get 10% off by emailing Dustin at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. I'll add that I just made a order right before this show for my energy that I take every day. Twice a day, I drink this wonderful drink called Energy. Check it out. rockinthatidlife.com. Gets me through the day. Also drink it before hockey. It's fantastic. And by Mike Burgoyne from Real Brokerage Realty. Email him at mike@strikewithmike.com today for all your home buying and selling needs. That's mike@strikewithmike.com. That will wrap up episode 21 of season 13 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Kurt Price and Bill Day, as well as the absent producer Austin, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues, let's go City.
Let's go Blues.
I'm going to say Team Binnington for life. Let's go Blues.
That's a good one.
That's good. Bye. Love you.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at fourth.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win. They'll always get one more, no matter what the score. They are quite a hockey team, my friend.